and mayhem, that you provide succor, but above all, that you give us common sense. Because we have now discovered that the only thing stopping us from turning our fortunes around is our inability to reason, and even more so, our inability to act on that very reason should we stumble upon it. Therefore, we ask thee, O Heavenly Father,
Right now, you need dependable internet and endless entertainment. Xfinity delivers with reliably fast speeds and Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home. Plus, access all your streaming apps in one place right on your TV. To schedule your free contactless equipment delivery, click or call. Restrictions apply.
Whole tribe of savages presiding over the faith of millions of people have not just run the government into the ground, they have destroyed souls. Yet 180 million people are held hostage by fear. God Almighty removed the fear from the eyes of those that call themselves Nigerians. Remove idiocy. From their person and grant them the ability to reason. Grant them the ability to reason, to understand and courageously act on their convictions. Because they are useless, they are hopeless. Everybody is complaining. Everybody is complaining. They know the solution, but they have failed to apply themselves to that very solution that will lead them out of pain, out of suffering, into the light. That is what we're asking for this morning. Nothing more, nothing less. Please give us the ability to reason, for we do not know what is wrong with us. How can a country without a president? The wife took over and brought her lover, her boyfriend, before 200 million people. 200 million. Not 1 million, not 2, not 3, not, I said 200 million God in heaven. Deceiving 200 million people. And it is not like we do not know. We know what is happening, but we are frightened. We are afraid of fellow human beings. And because of that, people are dying. Women are being raped in broad daylight. Mothers are being abducted. Children are being slaughtered. We are going through a time of unprecedented kleptomania. They are stealing everywhere dry. People cannot speak because they are afraid. People cannot get together to articulate a way out of their predicament.
We are
because they are
going through a time
they do not reason. Of unprecedented kleptomania. They are stealing everywhere dry. People cannot speak because they are afraid. People cannot get together to articulate a way out of their predicament because they are undiscerning. They do not reason. Kanu. Father, Lord God in heaven, please have mercy. Have mercy upon us. Have mercy upon us. In whatever way we may have sinned against thee, in our thought, in our thinking, in our actions, please have mercy. Have mercy. For this is not what you prepared for us. This is not how to live. People cannot be in a geographical contraption artificially created by aliens from Europe. And hope or feel that something good will come out of it. We are in an era of Photoshop and lies, deception, falsehood, and they are using it to good effect. Was that the reason why you allowed your children to inhabit that part of the world? Please have mercy, hear our cries. Give us the spirit to understand, and more so the courage to act upon our convictions, that your name may be glorified in the land of Biafra and in the land of all those that wish to taste freedom. Now and forevermore we pray. He said, I may have gone on slightly longer than I had intended. And as usual, they will keep kicking us out and we will keep going back in. Because what they are doing, and doing very cleverly, is to try and make life difficult for us. And as they intend to do so, we must carry on regardless. We must carry on regardless. I can't believe it that I was praying. They said, close your eyes now, be praying. We'll kick you out. And they have done exactly that. They have done that. They have done exactly that. But they are joking. I can assure you that they are joking. We are going back. I'm going back to my Facebook page. I'm going back to it. We are back again on my Facebook page. They are dreaming. They are dreaming. They don't, they don't want this very gospel to be preached. They don't want it to be preached. But we are going to. They cannot stop us. There is no way. They can't stop us. We are back on again. They can never ever stop us. They can't. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Not ever. Not ever. Not ever. We are going to preach this very day. And I can assure you, nothing, absolutely nothing is going to stop us. Nothing. Facebook, we prepared. We are going to do battle today. I only want to preach for 1 hour this morning. But if you keep us, I'm prepared to be here till evening. I am prepared. So it is better you allow us to preach than wasting your time, because what you're doing is a waste of time. You are not going to be able to stop us. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. We are here to preach the gospel of heaven. The gospel of redemption. And there is nothing anybody can do about it. Absolutely nothing. We are back. We are back on my page. Nnamdi Kanu. Let me tell them how to find it. There are many fake ones, of course, from DSS and their agents. I have 425,000 followers, 2 281,000 likes. That is how you know you are at the right place. They cannot stop us. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. We are going to proceed this morning by going to my Facebook page if you can, for those who are listening via our app and other platforms that are not visually aided, where you cannot see what is on my page. I will try as much as possible to describe it for you. And for those of you who have now joined us and are listening, I will, of course, encourage you. I will encourage you to keep on sharing this very link. Keep on sharing it, because we are about to rescue the zoo this morning. We are about to save all Nigerians this very morning. We want to. Biafra is already saved. We know what we're waiting for. We want to save people, want to save Nigerians today, so there will be less bloodshed, so that we will see people to do business with once Biafra is established, because it will be of no use to us to be building a very fantastic civilization and nation in that part of the world, and we don't have people who can admire it. Because I want, when they are outside the boundaries of Biafra land, they can see skyscrapers, they can see well-manicured lawns and gardens, they can see well-paved streets, they can admire beautiful architecture in the land of Biafra. So we need human beings to be alive. That is why this morning, as we preach this very gospel from heaven, it is designed to set those free who have been shackled by the iniquitous existence of the damnable zoological republic. Now you will listen this morning. Go to my page, because we are going to start from there. That is where we are going to start from. I want to prove to the world, because everywhere on this earth, men, women, children, everybody is listening. Even those in their offices, they are listening. I posted something before we commenced on my page, and I know that some of you may have watched the very laughable and disgraceful performance of Aisha Buhari's boyfriend, her lover. They forgot the face mask because they couldn't fix the hole in the neck. They opted for a very heavy makeup of that young man to make him look as old as possible. But this very morning, with the time now standing at precisely 26 minutes past 9 a.m. in the morning, that is how you know we are live, I challenge anybody. Because most Nigerians are slightly daft. There is no need me playing the audio. I want you to go to my page and have a look at the face of the young boy they are calling 79-year-old Buhari. Go and look at the face of the boy. And I want you to also I want this program to be as interactive as possible. So as I'm proceeding, previously I'll ask you to bring your pen and paper ready. Of course, you should have that by the side, but also have an internet-enabled device, because I'll be directing you to go to Google now and again. Very, very critical, please. I want you people, those who are listening, those who listened or saw what the recorded broadcast this morning, to begin to ask yourselves very simple question. Number one is this. Let us forget everything, all the semantics. Let us forget all the deepfake videos. Let us face simple common sense. I want to be able to demonstrate to myself and to the whole world that there are some black people who can actually reason. That is what I want to prove. That there are some black people who can reason. And I want us to be able to reason together this morning. My number one question is this. is that very address some of you saw, that broadcast this morning, was it live? That's number, have that in mind. Was it a live broadcast? Now, if as we all know, it wasn't live, then the next question is, logically so, the next logical question is, why wasn't it a live broadcast? And within the answers you give to yourself, you understand the mess that Nigeria is in and why it must collapse this year. Not next year, it must fall this year. Now, if you have a president who is alive, why would you go through the pain of having to record a live address? Now, let's say some people are saying that they want to get everything right. So that means if this man cannot address his fellow countrymen and women live, how can he go to a meeting abroad and represent you? Because meetings are live. The only nonsense they are claiming is live. You know, we are doing teleconference with UN, with World Bank, with IMF, with other heads of states in Africa. That means that they are lying to you. Because how can you not address your so-called Nigerians live, but you do live video conference with agencies all around the world? It is simple common sense. Can anybody begin to understand what I'm saying? If you cannot address Nigerians live, how then are you addressing the world live? So that means that you people are liars. You don't address the world live. Because charity begins at home. If you cannot address those who are around you live, how can you address the whole world live? It's not possible. So that's number one lie that you're telling. And if you cannot represent the country you claim you're leading live before any meeting, any gathering, any conference, that means the people are not getting what they are due from those who are supposed to be helping them. In other words, Nigeria has no president. I want us to forget let us look at it logically, sequentially, step by step. I'm not talking about all the fakeness. I'm not talking about, I thought that Jubril was gone. This is confirmation. Look at this little boy and go and look at the old clips of Jubril. I told you Jubril is gone. He's not ever coming back, and he's gone for good. Now, I don't want to dwell on the fakeness of the video. I don't want to dwell on the fact that it was even recorded. I want you to ask yourself this simple question. Which country in the world will allow a president that doesn't address them live? What is the essence of democracy then? I want people to explain this to me. What is the essence of democracy when you have somebody who claims he or she is a president, but they cannot address you live, tell you what is happening in real time? It is the same rubbish all over again. Every 3 weeks or every month, they come out with this nonsense for a few seconds and that's it. Are you telling me that if they weren't hiding anything, or if they are not hiding anything, would they go to this length of concealing, of hiding, of shielding from the public the true state of affairs? And I'll ask you again, look at that little boy and tell me if that looks like a 79-year-old, no matter how rich you are. Because some people, being very black, being very African, being very naive and very foolish by nature, because most of us are foolish by nature. That's the way we are created. I don't know what is wrong with Africans, but that's the way we are. People go to school but they learn nothing. I want you to, because if you doubt me, look at Bill Gates. Are you telling me that there is a treatment in this world available to anybody calling himself Buhari that Bill Gates cannot afford? Are you telling me now that Bill Gates is now older than Buhari? Is that what you're trying to claim to me? Why I'm saying this is because Bill Gates is one of the richest men in the world. at one point the richest man in the world. He has so much money, all he needs to do now is to kill as many people as possible with that money. That his job now is to kill people. That's how rich he is. He's now playing God. Now, look at that man that has all the money in the world. Look at his face. And you look at the face of somebody who should be older than Bill Gates. I just want you to engage your brain a little bit. If they are disturbing you on my page, you can switch on one again with, you can go to YouTube. If you have multiple devices, you can go to YouTube, listen via YouTube, but be watching what I'm going to post. Because Samaka is very busy. She's working. She's a teacher. She's working today. I'll be doing most of this work myself. So you need to bear with me. Now, look at the face of somebody who is older than Bill Gates. Now, people say that the old, dead, wrinkly Buhari is now this little boy. You ask them, but where did he get this look? They said it was after his medical treatment in London. Okay, we agree. He went to London to look younger. Almost 40 years younger than his age. Okay, we agree. Now, I want all of you, or those of you who can, to go to Google, type in UK, type in 70-year-olds United Kingdom. I challenge anybody anywhere in the world. Have you seen the Queen of England? Her Britannic Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II. Have you seen her? So you're telling me that a tin pot dictator from Africa can come to London, receive a life-changing treatment that knocked 40 years off his looks, and Queen Elizabeth doesn't have access to such a treatment? The person that actually owns the hospital that you went to, because everything you do in the UK is in the name of the Queen, of course. I'm asking a simple question. Now, look at how old and wrinkly Prince Philip is. Prince Philip is the loving husband of Queen Elizabeth. So if that treatment that Buhari that had brain tumor and everything received were to be in London, how come Prince Philip cannot go to the same to the same hospital to receive treatment? Why not? I'm asking a simple question. Do you see why black people find it difficult to grow, to develop, to feed themselves, to clothe themselves, to house themselves, to build roads, to build bridges? I want you to understand that our idiocy starts from the way we see, the way we analyze, the way we look at problems, the way we approach issues is the reason why black people are the lowest of the low in the whole world. We don't reason. And I'm proving it to you that people do not reason. You are looking at a little boy, barely in his 40s, Aisha's lover, pretending he is your president. Even if you're not outraged because you want them to be in power, shouldn't you be outraged that they're desecrating democracy and making a fool of you? I want to ask you now, does this boy look 70? If the answer is yes, look at Bill Gates. Is Bill Gates up to 79 years old? The answer is no. That is the age of the dead Buhari. Look at this boy now on my Facebook page. Go and look at this little boy. And then look at Bill Gates. This boy goes to Bill Gates to beg him to give him money to buy ventilators. I want people to understand this. Nigeria as a whole, as a country, so they claim, goes to a man to beg him for money. They go to Bill Gates to beg for money. Now, the person you're begging for money happens to look older than somebody who should be older than him. Now, Bill Gates is now older than your Buhari that gave an address this morning. What does that tell you about the way you reason? What does that tell you about who you are as a person? What does that tell you about the poverty in Africa? Because I want to prove it to everybody listening this very morning, that the reason why Africa is backwards and very poor is because of the way we reason. And before you start complaining and grumbling, I want you to go to my page on Facebook, have a look at it, or go anywhere else you like. Look at what happened this morning in the zoo called Nigeria. Look at that little boy. Your president cannot address you live. Look at the quality. I was watching it on Vanguard Facebook page. I was so disgusted. I felt like shedding tears. So disgusted. The quality of the video. The quality of the video in this digital age. It was recorded. The news was being read by a very little boy. Obadenwako is a small boy. He can see it very clearly. Now, when you lie to yourself, the thing about black people is that we love lying to ourselves. We never tell ourselves the truth. When you lie to yourself that this man is, how can God bless you or bless Nigeria? How is that possible? I'm asking. Do you see how all of you are perambulating all over the place? You are all hypocrites. Do you see why they killed George Floyd in America? You people are hypocrites. You see the truth and you cover it up out of fear. And I keep asking them, those who are in Abuja who are afraid, that inbox me, you write to me, you WhatsApp me, you tell me, we know what you're saying is true. I am serving in the army. I am a high-ranking officer in the Ministry of Health. I do. What? How many Fulanis are there that all of you are frightened? How many are there? What would it take to collapse the zoo and everybody will be free? Nothing. As we are doing it in the East, I expect Yoruba to rise up with Oduduwa. I expect Middle Belt to converge. That is all it takes. All is a simple process. Simple process. And all this nonsense will come to an end. That the same thing that Biafrans are saying is what Oduduwa are saying, is what Middle Belt is saying. End of story. Chikina is over. As simple as that. Do you know why? Because when I travel and I meet important dignitaries abroad, if the same thing they're hearing from me is what they're hearing from the Yoruba people, is what they're hearing from the Middle Belt, it is bye-bye zoo. You don't need to fight. You don't need to shoot. All they need to is consistency of message. If the oil in my land is the reason why you want Nigeria to be one, I don't like swearing, but I make a pledge now before God and before man, that as I have said before, so will I continue to say, that the oil and the gas in Biafra land will be given to every component part of Nigeria for free in perpetuity, under the supervision of the United Nations. This forms part of our charter to our people, which will be published very soon. I need you. I am a man that anything I utter, anything I say I'm going to do, I do it. I'm telling Yoruba people, if oil and gas is your problem, we'll give it to you for free. The UN will supervise it. We will lay pipelines to come into your territory. The same thing with the Middle Belt. We will pipe oil to you and gas. Anything you like can do with it. The pipe is there already anyway. That oil and gas will continue to flow. So you have no need whatsoever. We will internationalize River Niger and build a port in Lokoja to service the Middle Belt under international supervision. As I said, we will internationalize that very waterway, the river itself. So that one day Biafra won't wake up and say, oh, we are taking it over. Do you understand? So that this foolishness and idiocy will stop. That's what we're asking for. So that this nonsense will stop. Can you believe that this little boy is living large? Not content with having Aisha for free. They are paying him $200 million every year. This little boy having fun and not even doing the job properly. And all of you are quiet. Telling me you are afraid. Oh, we know Buhari is dead, but we are afraid. These are the messages I'm getting. These are the messages I'm getting. Confidential messages from inside Abuja, from inside Aso Rock. They are saying what you're saying is true, but we are afraid. These UG black people, we are sick in the brain. You have seen it. You have a president. Just like saying you have, once you lose your mom or your dad and your sibling starts to call you or relatives, you start telling them, they traveled. They are not at home. And they'll keep asking, but I want to see her. I remember when I lost my mom. I want to see her. One of my aunts called me and said, can't I speak to that? I want to talk to her. I said, no, but she's in the bathroom. She's not feeling well. She'll come out later. She said, it was them that came and told me that we think there is something wrong. You're not telling us. It's called common sense. Common sense. You have a president year in, year out, month in, month out, week in, week out, no live broadcast. He does nothing. He only sits somewhere and is presidency. And you know that this system of government is unprecedented anywhere in the world. And all of you are there sheepishly and hopelessly and idiotically condoning all this rubbish. Because you're black and you're evil. Let me tell you, the preaching I will do on Sunday. And if people selling rope in Nigeria, those selling rope in Nigeria, I will ask them not to sell rope from now till Sunday. Because after the broadcast I will make on Sunday, the suicide rate in Nigeria will quadruple. People will leave this world on Sunday. I'm telling you, people will commit suicide. Because this level of idiocy is too much. It is too much. How can people be so ignorant? And they are basking in ignorance. You are ignorant and you're basking in ignorance. Unbelievable. Go and look at the video again. President, no live address, always recorded speech. What does that tell you? Are you foolish? You have degree. What does that tell you? This boy you're looking at now, because when Femi Adesina does his Photoshop, they use the old Buhari mask. But there is a hole in the neck. They cannot cover the hole. That is why they brought out this little boy. A little boy, look at him. Anyway, Aisha is having fun. She's having fun. At her age, she has a little boy like this, living with this little boy, sleeping on her husband's bed, pretending. Every day. All of you see it, as if you're blind. As I demonstrate. If Nigeria, if at all the zoo they claim is a country, they have sensible people there. Have you seen one of the, somebody made a comment, his name is Romano Suchenna Ogweri, on the post I made last night. He was the one that observed that on the screen, do you know what they spelled? They said president. 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 When people discovered, they changed it to president. President. Let me see if I can try and post it. That you may see the nonsense happening in the zoo called Nigeria. In broad daylight. A country of 200 million people, nobody knows how to spell the word president. That is alamajiri for you. That is janjaweed for you. These are the people, they had no certificate. We went to court and said he is not learned enough to be. They said no, he went to Mom's Defense Academy. In broad daylight, they intimidated all learned men and women, made them Fulani puppets. Overnight, everybody is living in fear. Everybody has been terrorized by few number. That is what is driving me mad. That is what is driving me insane. Very few of them. Very few. Fulani, how many are the Fulani people? What type of AK-47 are they carrying that all of us cannot buy? Are you telling me today, all of you who are crying, are you telling me today that if we have a group rise up from Yoruba land, doing the things that IPOB is doing. Oh, come on now. Come on. Let us be sensible, please, for once. Are you telling me if there is a strong Oduduwa group in Yoruba land campaigning for Oduduwa, as IPOB is doing, and one from Middle Belt, not as strong, but you just pretending? All I'm asking for is, when because they will, at the end of this year, the world will call. They will call Yoruba elders. They will call Middle Belt elders. They will call elders from the East. If when that call comes, between October and December, that call comes, if we can all say the same thing, it's over for the zoo. It's over. Listen carefully, please. If you listen to me, believe you me, your life can never ever be the same again. It can never be the same. Never. It can't be the same. Because here we preach the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I can't lie to you. What will I lie to you for? Why would I lie to you? I'm asking you what for. Why would I need to lie to you? Nobody knows how to spell a president. I want to see if I can get it for you, so you will understand what I'm saying. Nobody knows how to spell a president in the whole of the place you call Nigeria. Nobody knows. And these are the people that you're telling me somehow they have your interest at heart. Is that what you're telling me? Are we that dumb? Are we that stupid? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me, I ask? That nobody knows how to spell the word president. I am going to post it. I'll post it now that the world may see it. Because some of these things is just a very big joke. Very big joke, I tell you. Very, very big. It is unprecedented. This level of stupidity in black people is, I must say it. You may not like it. You may go, you may complain. Oh, he's insulting people. That is entirely your business. It is entirely your business. I must say it because it is the truth. We do not reason. Black people do not reason properly. We don't reason properly. That is the fact of life. That is the absolute truth. I'm going to post it. I will try. I don't have Amaka to help me. Amaka is teaching children online. But I will do it myself because after all, I'm very good at multitasking. I'm going to, maybe I will not have the fluidity of the commentary of Amaka, but I am going to post it so that the world may see. If you go, you will see it. You will see it. Romanus Uchenna Gueri observed that a country of 200 million people, they cannot spell the word president correctly. What did they write here? They wrote president. President. Federal Republic of Nigeria. Federal Republic of Nigeria. The office, capital O. Can you believe that? It is there on the screen. This is what the world is watching. And after watching it, you want them to treat black people like human beings. You're dreaming. You are dreaming. I say you are dreaming. I have posted it on my page. You can go and see it. It is there. They spelled it initially president. They changed it to president, not president. That tells you the mess you are in. But is that all? No, it's not all. I want to now proceed to bring you, I just want to prove to you that all they do is lie to you. And as we proceed today, I am going to prove to you how they have been deceiving and lying to you. And I want to prove to you that Osibajo is not alive. Osibajo is not alive. I want to prove it to you today, so you will know what they've been doing to you. Because if Osibajo is alive, they must produce him. They must produce. I want to prove it to you that Osibajo is not alive. When I told you that Buhari was that, they were making mad. I said, this boy is Jubril. I told you. When Jubril left, I told you. He ran away from Cuba. I told you. And I'm sure he died of coronavirus. He contracted from Abakari later on. I told you, if you doubt me, look at those videos they made in Cuba and look at this little boy today. You can tell the difference. If you don't know, only if you're blind as a bat. Zoo, they make me sick. Zoo, they make me sick. You people are a disgrace to the black race. Nigerians are a disgrace to the black race. Look at it. It is there. President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is there in black and white. Shameless, shameless people. Now let me take you back a little bit. I am going to come to the video of Osibate they released and all the pictures. I'm here today to deal with this deep fake of Femi Adesina and all the nonsense they're doing. And I can prove to you that the Chinese are not involved because their technology is far more superior to the nonsense that those in Asorok are using. Now, there is a picture I am going to try to put up as well. Hey, this thing that Amaka is not here to help me. It's very, very difficult. But I will do the best I can under the circumstance. Under the circumstance, I will do the best I can. I want to prove something this very day beyond every reasonable doubt. I want to let the world understand what is happening. I'm posting all these things on my page. On my page, I'm posting it on my page. So you can go there and see it. And the Chinasa should also help out. So all of you should be sharing these pictures all over the world as I'm posting them on my page. Do you know that they released a picture a few days ago? They said that Buratai went to go and see, Buhari. Is that correct? They released the picture. And in that picture, you can see the little boy, Aisha's boyfriend, receiving Buratai. And I'm asking you a very simple question. They say Buhari is a general. He fought in the war. He went to war college. He did all this. Remember, that was the basis for dismissing the suit against INEC and Buhari then, because he didn't have any certificate. People were claiming that he didn't go to school. They said he went to military college. Now, I want to debunk all that nonsense. I am going to ask you to please use your brain. Engage your brain cells. That's what I'm asking for. Nothing more. If you can hate me, please, go ahead and hate me if you can. Or if you like. But as you're hating me, please, I'm begging you. Just to spare a few seconds to reason like a human being. That's what I'm asking for this morning, please. Look at the first picture. Look at the picture I just posted on my wall. And it is the picture, some of you may have seen it. The picture of Buratai entering into the office and saluting a man that is supposed to be a major general in the army that went to war. And if you don't know, you can take a man out of the military or the army, but you cannot take the army out of the man. Now, answer me this question. Why would a general receiving a salute from his commanding officer in the field, instead of saluting him back, he offered his hand for a handshake? It is there, can't you see it? Are people blind? As you're looking at the picture, I'm asking you to engage your common sense. That's what I'm asking for. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm asking you again. Look at a major general. That even if you want to shake him, he want to salute you. Because being in the military means you're regimented. Over the years, you've been drilled and drilled and drilled to salute. So when somebody salutes you, the first thing that comes to your mind is to salute back. Now, let's leave that to one side. Assuming that this is, as they claim that this is Buhari. Now, if your field commanding officer is saluting you and you're bringing out your hand to shake him, that means your brain is no longer correct. That means the man is senile. It's gone. The picture is there. Now, if you look at the same, I posted two pictures in one. If you look at the second picture at the bottom, it is very, very clear. There is a mirror on the wall. Surprise, surprise, they have not added mirror on the wall where the man they claim is Buhari is sitting. I want to point out all the lies. That this picture here is a Photoshop. The first one is a Photoshop. Because if you cannot be saluting a president and the president, go and check Trump. Check every president in the world. Once you see a salute, you must salute back. Go and check every picture. There is no president in the world. Instead, you keep your hands by your side. That your men are saluting you. You must salute back. This one brought out his hand. Is it handshake? Or to ask him, nah, how far? The picture is there. The lie didn't stop. That is to show you that Buratai too is not alive. This is fake. I want to prove it to you. Fake. Because this is a Photoshop. It's not real. If you go to the second picture again, look at the mirror on the wall behind the head of Buhari. You will know it is Photoshop. It is not an object. And now look at the reflection inside the mirror. I thought we are very smart. They don't know how intelligent we are. They are so foolish. They don't know. You are dealing with IPOB. We are born naturally intelligent. We don't have to go to school. Naturally intelligent we are. You can't deceive us. Look at the mirror behind the head of the man they claim is Buhari, but of course it's Aisha's boyfriend. Focus on the mirror behind the head of Aisha's lover, who happens to be the mask wearer. This is the boy, they make him up. He comes out bouncing. No more brain tumor. No more kidney failure. No more. He's now bouncing. And no medical checkup, of course. Mind you, Asoro Clinic is empty. It's empty. People with minor heart defects, they go to doctor all the time. People with kidney problem, they go to doctor. Imagine a major surgery to remove tumor from the brain. It is called common sense, which in Africa is no longer common. Look at the mirror on the wall behind the little boy. You will see it there. And scrutinize the purported reflection in the mirror. As I wrote it down, I'm reading what I wrote. You will see the people projected in the mirror are not in the room. People that you're seeing in the mirror are not in the room. And someone say, oh, but they are there. Can't you see that one? Then I ask you to look at the hat, the Alamajiri hat the man is wearing. Count the colors. The gradients of the colors. Count it. From up, down, on the cap. I will show you. He's wearing Alamajiri cap. Check it. Look at the coloring. You see it's not the same. Fake. Again. Fake broadcast this morning. Chief of staff fighting a major war, they claim, against insurgency that is ravaging everywhere. It's fake picture. Buhari is dead. Buratai is dead. Osibajo is dead. Dead. If not, they'll not be lying this way. They can't be lying this way. And I want to prove it to you this morning. Listen. Do you know that after going to see, they claim after going to see their so-called president, I went to see the president today. Buratai gave interview to Channels TV. I want to point out today that Channels TV, Channels TV is the, oh my God. Channels TV is the worst, the very one of the worst things to ever happen to Nigeria. Channels television, God is my witness, it is the very worst. And I want to tell you why. He said he went to Channels TV to go and do interview. And in that interview, they issued a video. There was a video issued in the interview they went to. And I want to find it and play it for you, so the world can see and hear what is happening in the zoo. The wickedness of man against man. I want to prove it to the whole world that there is a special kind of wickedness that we have inside us. Inside us. Special wickedness from black people. Special wickedness. We are evil. I'm telling you. Let children hear and ask you, mommy, daddy, why is uncle saying we are bad? Tell your children the truth. that you are evil. You are evil. Now, I have posted it. I have posted it on my page. This is the screen grab of the fake YouTube video of Buratai. Even some comedians made a mockery of that very video. Some comedians did. They made a mockery of the video that Buratai claimed, the interview that Channels published. Do you know that Channels TV is in cahoots, is conniving? Channels Television is conniving, actively conniving with the Janjaweed to enslave everybody, to kill off everybody. Are you aware of that? Some of you may pretend you don't know, but I'm going to publish that very video. Do you know that the video that the Channels Television was playing was a video they issued 2 years ago? 2 years ago, Channels Television unconscionably brought it out, edited it, and said the Buratai came to us after going to see the president, came to us, but it's a fake video. That is why I maintain that Buratai is dead. I told you, they are gone, they are ravaged, all of them. Mad people. Fake video, fake doctored video by Channels Television. Channels TV, claiming that they, of course, they said that the CNN of Nigeria want to be fake news everywhere. Fake video by Channels Television, claiming that they are interviewing Buratai. I've posted it again. I have posted it. Fake, that comedians are making mockery of them. And you are in one Nigeria, a country full of liars and deceivers everywhere. No wonder you love lies. No wonder Nnamdi Kanu is a scammer. But your thieving Pentecostal pastor with a private jet collecting your money every week, every month, every tithe, every donation. He is not a thief. He's a man of God. But the people that came to save you from what adjective do I use to qualify these people? From your ignorance and your diseased condition. They are scammers. That is the brain of a black person. That is why white people kill you, because you're foolish. That is why Chinese, they kill you because you're foolish. That is why they come to Africa to take our natural resources, because we are foolish upon foolish. Useless people. The people saving you, they are scammers. People taking your money and buying private jet, diverting funds meant for public use. They are men of God and your leaders. That is why you are black, and that is why you are evil, and that is why evil nature is against you. Your heart is as black as Satan. These huge black people. Look at Chinese television. A news organization, a news channel that should be propagating the truth. Do you know that in Nigeria, you are not safe, not even with the judges? And somebody said, when I went to university, somebody said to me, any country you go to, the teachers are not reliable. The judges in the law courts are not reliable. And you don't have any media. That place doesn't exist. Check Africa, that's what is happening in Africa. Teachers, they have to rape you, to give you marks, to give you grades in school. Judges will tell you point blank. They will collect money. They will tell you that they will rule for the person that gave them money. And that's it. In Nigeria, a university professor, a don, will go and rig election, falsify results. Oh God, my goodness. They call him academics. Will wear his gown, his professorial gown, prophesying falsehood, and go and rig election for a stark illiterate. That is Africa for you. Everything in Africa is upside down. down. That is why Africa is poor. It is not because of the white man, not because of the Chinese. It is in the Bible. Remember the parable of where Jesus gave money to people and asked them to, one spent his, one invested his, one buried his in the ground. And he came out and took from the one that buried his and gave to the one that invested his. He said, from those that do not have, it will be taken and given to those that have. Because we are foolish. That is why the Chinese will come and take our mineral resources. We are daft. They say, he's insulting. I'm not insulting, I'm telling you the truth. He's insulting people. You are a fool, a complete idiot. A non-entity. A fool you are. Because until you face the reality of your stupidity, you're not going anywhere. And that's what I'm trying to prove to you today. How foolish you are. That a journalist in Nigeria, journalists claiming they are good, Channels TV, went and took a video, 2-year-old video, knowing that the country is undergoing unprecedented insecurity and insurgency. Death everywhere. All that is required of them is to be objective, to say things are not working. We can't keep lying, but they took money. And I'll mention their names today. In Channels TV, they took money. They lied so that Fulani can cover their tracks and the killings and the deaths will continue. That is Africa for you. And you're angry because a white man killed a black man in America. Do you see how hypocritical all of you are? How many of you are holding channels accountable for this lie? The video that they said is Budakai was filmed, was shot, recorded 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they brought it out and they digitally re-enhanced it. I remember during the Operation Desert Storm, Norman Schwarzkopf, anytime you have any proper country or nation at war, their defense headquarters will give live, the same way you give COVID-19 briefing. Once a war is live and active, once they're involved in an active theater anywhere in the world, the defense headquarters will be issuing live press statements every blessed day. That's how it's done anywhere in the world. But not in the zoo. It's recorded, fake, not even recorded, fake doctored video. I have posted it for you so that you can see. Now, let me tell you the funniest part. Do you know why I hate channels and in this church, black people, black, satanic, black people, I said satanic, this yogi, no one repent the day for black. I said on Sunday, what I will preach on Sunday, it's better you don't listen on Sunday. And what it comes to a health warning, the preaching I will make on Sunday. I feel sorry for black people on Sunday. I'm telling you the truth. You brought these things upon yourselves. You people are evil. Evil and evil. Ndisioji, black people. Black. Unbelievable. Let me now shock you to let you understand how evil Channels Television is. Who are those working for Channels? Black people. Ndisioji. Do you now know what they did in Channels TV? Do you know what they did in Channels Television? You have no idea. I'm going to tell you in a minute. Oh dear me, black, and this UG, black people. Whoever, I don't know who did this to you. I have no idea. Who did this to you? I said I have no idea. I have no idea who did this to you. Do you know something? When Channels posted this rubbish yesterday, you know, Biafrans, we're intelligent, we saw it and we gave Channels the date. IPOB, we decided that we gave them do you know what happened? Before I went to sleep last night, Channels had removed they've gone and removed the video. It's no longer there. And I posted it again. When we went to search for that video, I have posted it again on my wall now. I've just posted the result of the search for that video. A fake, the fake. That's why they took it down. Have you seen it? That is your news today. So in Nigeria, government is fake. National Assembly fake because they said anything they bring, they pass. Every loan they collect. Judiciary, that one is a big joke. Big joke. How about that? The more people they remand in custody, the more money they're sharing with the Ministry of Interior. Internal Affairs. So you don't know? A judge, a legal luminary, that's what they call them. A legal icon. Only the zoo. Every case, even the one that is supposed to be dismissed, they say, remand him in custody and file papers. So that the Ministry of Internal Affairs will give money to the whoever's in charge of prisons for the feeding of these prisoners, which they don't feed them anyway. So the judge can get his or her own share of the money. Black people. Black in Africa. Oh, you people are horrible. Horrible human beings you are. Horrible satanic. Monsieur G. You people are you are evil. Satanic. That's why God is punishing Africa. You don't know that? A judge. Look at what Channels TV is doing. It is here. The video no longer exists. It is gone. Why did they remove it? Because it is fake. The national security of 200 million people being toyed about with for political considerations and financial gain. How much channels will they give you? John Mama, whatever the idiot's name is. How much will they give you, I ask? Tomorrow you'll be writing rubbish. Hey, we need to move the country forward. We need to, this is our country. We need to restructure and we're moving forward and we go backwards. Idiots, all of you are hypocrites. All of you in Abuja, you all cowards and hypocrites, all of you. That is why you're suffering. And the main army of Islam is coming. You see what they will do to you. I will be at the forefront campaigning the whole world that nobody should intervene. You people are evil. You are evil. You are evil in this world and evil in the next life. And on top of that is cowardice. Everybody looking for excuse not to act. Every time excuse not to act. Because inside you as a black man, you are the embodiment of Satan. Satan inhabits your soul. Journalists are lying. The time now is 16 minutes past. 16 minutes past 10. I must preach. If you don't like it, you get away. I must preach the truth. This Yogi, you disgust me. You disgust me because you can't reason. A whole news channel is helping an illegal, helping people that committed high crimes and misdemeanor to stay in office because they give them money. You're a black man, that's why you're doing it. You are evil, that's why you're doing it. You complain of racism. That why, if I'm a white man, I will slaughter all of you. You are evil. You are evil. I will kill all of you. You people are like I'm not a white man. I will slaughter all of you. You people are evil. A black man in Africa is evil. How can a judge remand somebody in custody because he wants to get money? Not because the person is guilty. How can a journalist that claims they are ethical go and get a video and falsify that video and issue it to the public just to deceive because they get money? Who are you people? Why are you people this bad? Why? Black people, I'm asking you. Black people from Africa, especially in the zoo called Nigeria, why are you people just this horrible? Why? Why? Now, oh my goodness me. Why are they doing this? They want to stay in power because they need Islam to rule according to Obama. They want Islam everywhere. According to Democrats in America, I said Democrats in America, they want Islam everywhere. If you don't know, Democrats in America, they want Islam everywhere. If you don't know, let me tell you. I will come to the reason why they are doing it. I want us to go to the picture of Osibajo. I want to prove to you now that Osibajo is dead. That's why they're lying. I want to prove it to you with facts and that's you know me. I don't talk rubbish. Once they start to hide you, bring you out, Photoshop for you. You are gone. You are gone. Once they start the Photoshop, is bye bye. Bye bye. You are gone. This picture I'm posting now on my wall is the reason why I maintain that Osibajo is dead. Osibajo is dead. He's a man that I happen to like very much, and I have no reason why. I don't even understand why I like him. I like him. I think he's a gentleman. Oh dear me. Osibajo is in trouble. Let me put it that way. In serious trouble. Do you know why Osibajo is in trouble? I want to post this thing on my page so you can see it very, very well. Very, very well. I believe that it's gone. I've posted it now. And you know, I kept asking myself, when you watch all those detective films and in a crime scene, you will see somebody snapping picture all the time. I kept wondering, asking, why would they, me, I reason very well. I'm a black man, but I reason. I taught myself how to reason. It started from my father. And you must teach yourself how to reason. When I watch all those CSI, all those investigative drama, I keep asking, but why all the time you're snapping pictures? You put it on the wall. Why? Do you know, last night was when I found the answer. I've been asking this question for over 20 years. I found the answer only last night because I kept looking for the answer. Do you know how I discovered it? I went to NTA. Somebody being very clever. That's why I love my Facebook page. I'm telling you the truth. Forget about what Facebook is doing. Because I read every comment. Even if it's like, let it be 20,000, I read all of them. I hardly sleep anyway. I was going through the comments and somebody said that in the NTA news, 9 o'clock news last night that he was watching, that Osibajo was changing color. I called Chinasa and I said, go and find this. Find me this tape. I called, I decided to do it myself. She said I couldn't. I did it myself. I went. Luckily for me, I found it. NTA News at 9 live. I said hallelujah. I started watching from the beginning. At the time I said, no, let me snap the pictures. So as the video was rolling, I kept snapping frame upon frame. And I compared, I did a bit of detective work last night. I put all the pictures down on the screen. I looked at them. It was then that it occurred to me that Osibajo is no more. That very video shot and screened by NTA. Remember before it was a channel, so now it's NTA. It was just a pack of lies. Do you know what is a lie? Hi, Elohim, Chukwukabiyama. Everything we do is to your glory, not to the glory of man. Do you know, as I started, on that very video, at 2 minutes past 9, as NTA was telling us what Osibajo was doing, his presentation, I have posted it now. As Osibajo started speaking, there was no face mask. He was sitting in the hall, reading out his speech. No face mask. Now, you'll be shocked. After, at 2 minutes later, in the same frame, Osibajo is now wearing glasses with a face mask, still reading the same speech. And I watched again to see in the video when he put on his face mask and his glasses, there was none. It was a continuous frame. Are you listening to me? And I have published it. It's on my page now. You can see when he started, 2 minutes past 9, he was reading, no face mask, no glasses, in the same NTA, the the same NTA, as it moved on only 2 minutes, slightly over 2 minutes later, he's now wearing a mask and wearing glasses. So, do you think people can deceive us? Do you know who we are? I keep asking this, do you think you can defeat IPOB? You cannot. Not today, not. The more you delay in calling for that very negotiation in the US, that's what we negotiate. The more you delay, the more ridicule and the more price ordinary innocent people will pay inside Nigeria with their life and their blood. You started reading. I was watching the NTA. I have the original. I'm waiting for them to play hanky panky. Then I bring out the NTA original. I have it. He started reading. No face mask. All of a sudden, from nowhere, as I kept snapping the frame, look at him. He's now wearing glasses and face mask. Hey! Oh, dear me. Now you understand, don't you? The reason why they say I insult people. Why won't I insult you? You are dumb. I have no time for idiots who cannot reason. Because in Biafra, I'm being honest with you, because we need you to reason, to hold the government to account. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter. Once you're serving the people, we hold you to account. Look at them now. Look at them. They think they can lie. They think they can lie. They think they can lie. They don't know who we are. I am Nnamdi Kanu. That name will haunt you people forever and ever. And the very awesome IPOB. Who can forget? A movement that God designed in heaven. Spiritual. Nobody will do. When we go out, millions come. Nobody is paid to do anything. We don't give data money to anybody. No matter the level of hardship, we are battling. They are wondering, how can they be paying $85,000 knowing fully well that an Igbo man cannot give you money? Everybody knows that it's clear. They know it very well. He said he'll be gossiping. Igbo man give you, you are dreaming. Igbo man give you money. You are a dreamer. You say, our money. He didn't contribute not one penny. Not one dime. He's an Igbo man. That's the way the brain, that's how they are wired in their brain. And they are raping their daughters. And he's calculating. What do I gain? What's going to be my gain in all this? We are decimating the zoo, the complete and utter destruction of the zoo. If Osibajo is alive, bring him out for a live interview in Yoruba language. He's a dead man. Bring Osibajo out. Let him do an interview in Yoruba language. Osibajo is dead. That's why you're hiding it and faking your... You think we know deep fake video when we see one? We brought your attention to it. All this nonsense, all these games, no matter how you fake a video, IPOB will discover where the fault. We'll show you where the faults are. You think we're your mates? You think we're in the same league? Zoo is in trouble. That is not all. We have not finished. I said I have not finished. I have not finished. We must preach this gospel. I have not finished. I feel sorry for those who cannot go to Facebook as they're listening. I have not finished. Channels Television, bring back the video you took down. Bring it back. You liars. You want to ridicule me. Said, Nnamdi Kanu said, Buraka is gone. It's no longer coming back. Let us confuse the gullible 200 million once again. You know, I'm waiting for you. I can't push you and not show you where to land. I cannot ask you a question without knowing the answer. Before I say anything, I know how you zoo people behave. I know you will try to counter me, and the more you come with your counter, the more mistakes you make. And that's when we nail you. We know what we are doing. You know what is a trap? In those olden days trap we have, made of metal. You are like a little rat. We put a bit of dry fish on the trap. That's what we call it. Where I come from. And you crawl and you come. You want to eat the dry fish, and it will ensnare you. That's what we do. We give you a teaser. We say all these things, then you come out with your mistakes, and then we nail you with it. Osibajo is dead. Dead, Yoruba. Your son is dead. They are just playing games. And I know their plan. The closer the zoo gets to collapsing, the more they intensify their killings and their terrorism. They know that very well. But we are waiting. To take him, in a short while, we will tell you what we're made up of. We will tell you. Then you know how serious we are. Nah. Keep on fooling yourselves. Now I have not finished. I'm not done. I'm not going anywhere. I must preach. I have to preach a gospel that God said I must preach to the living. I must preach this very gospel to the living. I have another picture to post because this very day things are happening in the zoo. Things are happening in the zoo, and I'm going to shock you. I am going to shock you, all of you. I'm going to shock you. Do you know the funniest thing? The same channels again. The same channels TV again. Do you know what they did? Do you know what they did? They published a picture of Osibajo handing over the economic sustainability whatever document to a man they claim is Buhari, but who we know to be Aisha Buhari's boyfriend. Now, look at that very well in the picture. Channels Television posted a picture. In that picture posted by Channels TV, Osibajo's left arm is missing. Look at it now. I've posted it on my wall. Go and have a look at it. The left arm is missing. It was posted by Channels. I had to screenshot everything, even with the comments and the likes and people laughing at them. You can see it. Channels. Anybody that gets or watches Channels Television is a complete imbecile. He's an idiot of the highest order. Channels TV, useless. You are better off listening to high life music on a radio station and drinking palm wine tombo. You are better off. Channels TV posted a picture where the left arm of the vice president was missing. And you're telling me that Osibajo is alive. You must be insane. That means you cannot reason very well. That means you cannot reason very well. The left arm is missing. Bill Gates is 64 years old, according to Everest in Austin. 64 years old Bill Gates. Look at a 64-year-old Bill Gates and a so-called allegedly 79-year-old boy. Are you telling me that blacks are normal? You want me to respect you? You want me to talk to you with respect? How can I respect you when an orangutan is better than you? I prefer an ape, monkey, chimpanzee is better for me than some of you. You don't reason. You don't reason at all. These you black people. Black. Monkeys everywhere. Monkeys. You are. Even monkeys are better. Look at the picture of a 64-year-old. Look at the picture of a 79-year-old and tell me there is nothing wrong with your brain. Tell me that God did not curse you. Now, I'm coming on. It's not over. Far from it now. You know it's not over. Can you see? The left arm of Osibajo is missing. Vice President. But I'm alleging. Now, they cannot use alleged. Nnamdi Kanu is alleging. On this June 12th, I'm alleging. With the time now at 27 minutes to 11 a.m. in the morning. From where I am. I'm telling you now that not only his arm is missing, the whole of Osibajo is missing. All fake. We've been educated. You see why education is good? You know, all that time we spent telling you about deep fake, telling you about hyper-realistic face mask is to prepare you for a time like this. Now, do you see how easy it is now for people to assimilate what we're saying? Do you see how easy it has become? Do you see how easy it is? That's the benefit of education. If you miss the gospel that I preach, I don't know. I don't know where you get common sense from. I don't spare anybody. I don't spare anybody. I don't. Because I am doing the will of God. I am doing the will of Elohim. Now, you are about to be even shocked the more. They think they are smart. They think they are sensible. They think they have what it takes. But we are smarter than them. We are a whole lot smarter than them. Smarter than them. I posted this yesterday. Allow me to reiterate for those who are just joining us, for those who may want to inquire to find out what is happening, why all the commotion, why all the madness, why all the confusion. It is a man, not the mad. It is a man. I want you to look at this one that I've just posted. In the first pictures I did last night, I posted it last night, in the same economic forum, that if you go and have a look at NTA, Osibajo wasn't wearing any face mask, but in the picture, in this very picture, God in heaven, I did a very good work last night. I need to be commended, honestly. Maybe I should be an investigator as well. Do you see what happens in life? When you are somebody who is reasonable and you look at everything critically and you analyze every situation, you become a detective overnight. I have posted a picture. There is a typographical error in the second one. It's a man, not a mad. Man it is. If you look at that very picture very carefully, you will see the same. They are singing national anthem now. They have finished. According to NTA News, they have finished and singing national anthem. All of a sudden, a man who appeared on the left-hand side of Osibajo is no longer there. Only a few seconds, 8 seconds later, he has disappeared. Hey, deep fake videos everywhere. A whole national television. Do you see what NTA and channels are doing? So that when you're poor, you don't go to good schools, you have bad roads, blame NTA, blame channels television. They are black people, and when they go to their clubs and all those places they go to, they will complain, oh, Nigeria is bad, Nigeria is bad. They never blame themselves what they have done to contribute to the badness of the zoo called Nigeria. Let me have a sip of water, because I'm a human being and I'm alive. I'm not Jubril, who is dead, no Buhari. Do you see how if you challenge IPOB, you go down? Have you seen it? The man was missing. To his left. Oh, there you go. The man to the left of Osibajo is gone. It means it is fake. Absolutely fake. That is what is happening in the zoo. Everything about Nigeria is fake. And it didn't stop there. I'm not going to stop. Who said I'm going to stop? I'm not going to stop there. I want to dismantle them this morning of June 12th. They are so-called Democrats. I want to dismantle them, all their lies, to allow us, our approach into Aso Rock to be very clear. I want to demolish all their nonsense, all their lies and deception. Complete destruction. 8 seconds later, the man to the left has disappeared from the picture, from the frame. I said, I have the video. It's a news. Have the video. And a few days before that, they said, Hey, somebody say even Osibajo doesn't look that big. Hey, Umuchinek and then saw the children of the Most High, IPOB, the children of God in heaven. I'm doing all these things so that you can know that God sent us to do this work. If not, what we know, He couldn't have given us the knowledge of what we know. Never. If not, why didn't He give it to you? I'm talking about someone with the bottom. Why didn't Elohim give you the amount of intelligence, knowledge, and wealth inside IPOB? Have you asked yourself why? Because you are black and you're evil. You're a little demon. That's why we are the children of the Most High. That's why they call us Umu Chineke, the children of light. That's what IPOB represents. Anything we touch is gold. We are there and our enemies are falling. On their own sword, our enemies are collapsing. After listening to this, you don't know the whole world is listening. After listening to this program, do you think anybody will take the zoo seriously again? Of course not. And they wait for the program on Sunday. Sunday is Armageddon. And the final of finals is on Sunday. After that preaching on Sunday, the world can no longer be the same. I can assure you. As they are lying and busy deceiving themselves, producing fake video after fake video, lies after lies, deception after deception, I want to bring to your attention another lie, another deception that they have concocted. I will find it. I am walking alone, but I will find it to prove to the world that these deceivers cannot be allowed to get away with this nonsense. They cannot be allowed to get away with it. It is not just possible. I want to show you something. I want to show you something. Where is it? Hey, where is it? I want to find it and show the whole world, because it is called the National Executive Council meeting, the NEC meeting. Have you forgotten? It took place. NEC meeting took place on the 10th of June, 2 days ago. 2 days ago, it took place. I now want to show you what became of the zoo after that very meeting. I just want to point out all the lies and the deception. That's what I'm trying to do. To point out the lies and the deception of the zoo. What they have been doing. All their lies. What they have been doing to you to confuse you, to deceive you, to make you think it is IPOB that is mad. It is IPOB who don't know what they are doing. That is what we are doing today, to prove to them and to the whole world that we are the ones who are blessed with knowledge. We are the ones who are blessed with intelligence. We are the ones that the whole world is looking up to. And not to them. Not to them. Not at all. Not to them. I want to prove it to the whole world, please. Just bear with me for a second. I have it. I now have it. This particular picture I am posting on my wall on Facebook. I am posting it. They call it, they said they had a virtual meeting. Which is what, this is a virtual presidency. Because nobody knows what is going on. Nobody knows who is in charge. All we hear about is presidency. Nobody's in charge, basically. As Wole Soyinka said. It's a virtual presidency. Virtual. It doesn't exist. It is not real. I have posted a picture. In that very picture of the oh dear me. The first picture was taken on the 10th of June. The second picture was taken on the 11th of June. Do you know the funniest thing between these two pictures? That they are the same thing. The base of the picture is the same. Look at the man in blue. wearing white face mask behind the man who is saluting. Can you see the man, the policeman to his left, saluting, or should I say to the right of Musibajo also saluting? Can you see the man? So how come in a meeting, one is a virtual meeting, one is a proper NEC meeting, you have the same policeman saluting everybody from the same position? How is that possible? Hey, how can you, the man in blue that they photoshopped in as well, he went home after the meeting on the 10th, changed his clothes, changed and came back the next day wearing the same clothes but only changed his hat. Can you people believe that? Can you people believe that? Can you believe it? It is the same picture that they have photoshopped into. One is on the 10th. Go to Femi Adesina's wall, you will see it. I got it from Femi Adesina's wall. Go there, you will see it. One was taken on the 10th. One was taken on the 11th. The same thing. The same people saluting. The same people behind them at the same time in the same position. How possible is that? Hey, the damnable zoological republic. The zoo has no government. I'm proving it to the whole world. I am telling you on Democracy Day, I am telling the whole world that Nigeria has no democracy. None whatsoever. What you have is a bunch of charlatans, criminals, insane kleptomaniacs, insane. They want to buy Mercedes Maybach for their loved ones, and they have to be in power to make that happen. Do you see how we are demolishing the zoo bit by bit? I'm sure in the offices now in Abuja, everybody is looking at each other saying, hey, they are now speaking Yoruba by force. People from Igbo land will say, demolition. I told them, I will destroy the zoo with the truth as your Chineke. Nothing more. Have I fired a shot? Have I killed anyone? No. Just the truth. Get me a message. You will speak that truth before anybody. That truth will bring down that castle of darkness called Nigeria. Today we are doing it thankfully. One picture taken on the 10th, the other one on the 11th, the same picture. And people are going about, oh, Nigeria, my country. We are in Nigeria. Mr. President, Mrs. President, talking rubbish. Talking nonsense. And these are people you expect to have a little bit of common sense. There is no common sense. And you want a white man to respect you when you as a black person, you are a bundle of idiocy and stupidity. You are not deserving of any respect. You don't, you people are not here. If I'm a policeman, I will get a machine gun and start firing all of you. You hypocrites. Have you been to Africa to see what black people are doing to black people in Africa? Have you been to Africa to see it? You are protesting, talking rubbish. In Africa, somebody stole the future of 200 million people and their children. And all of you are sheepishly moving about, pretending all is well. An idiot that claims you went to school with that. I saw Mr. President. I'm asking, is it this one? Is it this boy you saw? Cowards everywhere. Cowards everywhere. We are destroying the zoo. Line by line, bit by bit. We are displaying their shame that the world may know how foolish they are. That the world may know how foolish Nigerians are. How foolish they are. The same picture. Over 2 days, the same picture. How with the same picture. Are you God? You no longer change. You no longer move. The same policeman is saluting from the same position. Is he a statue? You think we are dumb? I told you I would destroy the zoo. Can't you see it happening? Can you not see it? That is one. We are proceeding. We've not finished. We are proceeding. Why are they doing all these things, you may ask? Why are they doing it? Why are they doing it? You don't know the reason? I'm going to give you the reason why they are doing it. I want to find the reason and give it to you why they are doing what they are doing. They want to stay in power. It is about Islamization. It is about Obama. They want to spread Islam. Some of you don't know the battles that Trump is fighting because you are not in the spirit. You are not in the spirit. You are not discerning enough. You are not reasonable enough. I saw a video of a rape. I will play that on Sunday. And anywhere else in the world, with that very video, they will match the face of the culprits. They will catch them. They will prosecute them. But in your case, because you're in a zoo, nothing ever happens. And you want respect. This very video is the reason why they do what they do. This is the reason why they do what they do. They want Islam to take over. They want everybody to be Islamized. Islam is the reason why Aisha is now a de facto president and her boyfriend addressed you this morning. I said her boyfriend. They just sat him there and used his body frame and his mouth moving. It's not that he was there physically. It's called hologram artificial intelligence technology. I've thought about it. I've tutored on that before. Go and check it. Islam is the reason why the Fulani Janjaweed are holding on to power with their lives. That is why. That is why. Islam is the reason why. And I'm going to play it for you before we go slightly interactive. This morning, I want us to be a little bit interactive. Today, I'm going to play it for you so that you may know why they do what they do. And the Yoruba media supporting them. Channels, television. Do you see why Tinubu is supporting them? It is an Islamic agenda. But Yoruba don't know that Islam is fake. They will kill all of you. Ask a Yoruba man, a Muslim, ask Tinubu as you are, can you go, today is Friday, can you travel up to the north, to the days that is Friday, and hold a Juma prayer? And Fulani will follow you. The answer is no. Even if a 10-year-old boy is there, that 10-year-old will live rather than Tinubu. So Yoruba Islam, they see it as fake. I'm telling you the truth. Don't you know that before? I tell you the truth. You may not like it, but it is the truth. Eventually you will accept it. The reason why is because of Islam. And I'm going to play the clip for you that the whole world may hear. That IPOB will stand vindicated. That is the reason why. Because of Islam. Let's play it. Listen.
Nigeria is a member nation. All non-Muslim religions, such religions shall include Christianity. The word Christianity in the communique was underlined to ensure only Muslims are elected to one political post of men.
To ensure only, this is the communique of the Organization of Islamic Countries. They call it now cooperation. This was the script that Obama was acting out. Obama, Ukraine is a black man. This was the script. That was why Jonathan was removed. That is why, rather than give it to an Igbo man, they would rather give it to Tinubu. Or maybe a Shomole. Because they cannot allow a Christian to be in Asarok. Nigeria is an Islamic country. You cannot be going to Saudi Arabia and claiming an Islamic country and to be taken seriously when a Christian is in Asarok. It's not possible. Now, do you understand it? Are you following? That is what this very preacher is telling us here. I will start again from the beginning. It's on my page on Facebook. Go and have a look at it. And you will be astonished. The reason why they do what they do, they kill, they maim, they pillage. And when you tell some politicians in Washington, they say, it's farmer header clash. But of course, we've changed all of that now. We've changed all of that. When we're asking for funding for health assistance, people said, are you sure they're scammers? Oh, they'll scam you. Oh. Now America is talking every blessed day. People are now jumping up and down, looking forward to the hope that is going to come from the USA. According to the will of God, of course. According to the will of the Most High. I want you to listen to this before we close today. Listen.
Its forms and ramifications.
Listen.
Now, Nigeria is a member nation. All non-Muslim religions,
Nigeria is a member to eradicate, according to them, their stated aim is to eradicate in all its forms and ramifications all non-Muslim religions in member nations. Such religions include Christianity, Ahmadiyya, other tribal modes of worship unacceptable to Muslims. The word Christian was underlined. Do you see why they have killed Osibajo? Rather, because they know that Buhari is dead and Osibajo knows that Buhari is dead. It's only Osibajo they can hand over to. They have now killed him. Let's listen.
Just shall include Christianity. The word Christianity in the communique was underlined to ensure only Muslims are elected to one political post of member nations, to ensure the appointment of only Muslims into strategic national and international member nations, to ensure the ultimate replacement of one Western forms of legal and judicial systems with the Sharia, then to make sure that this strategy works. Because it's not to require money. Babangida, as the first appointed president of Nigeria, put his hand into the president of Nigeria. Q21.
The man that removed Jonathan, Babangida, by asking Dasuki to be at the helm of affairs. Let's listen.
$1 million out and gave it to OIC.
OIC.
Islamic Development Fund of OIC. And said, take this money for the total, I'm quoting, for the total Islamization of Nigeria.
Total Islamization. They're now carrying it out. And some Indians say, I'm in Lagos, I have investment in Lagos, investment in Kaduna. And they killed one the other day, an investor in Lafia. Or is it Gwagwalada? They killed him. The video is on my page. Let's listen.
In particular, and Africa in general. Babangida paid $21 billion of our money to turn Nigeria to an Islamic nation.
$21 billion. Babangida, that devil, devil, that devil in a wheelchair, Babangida, took it to OIC. That was when Khan had clout. Khan rose up, Christians spoke, and he sort of, watered down a little bit. That was why Alex Ekweme couldn't have gone. Obasanjo is basically one of them. He's a coward, he's one of them. He can't do anything. Olufalaye would have been a better president. Everybody knows that. But they said no, they give it to Obasanjo, their houseboy. After that now, they pick up Tinubu, their houseboy. I don't know why Yoruba prefers to serve as a houseboy to the Janjaweed. I have no idea why. One day we will know.
And they have started. Boko Haram, don't look at it as something that is isolated to the northeast. It is meant to cover the entire nation until Christianity is eradicated.
Until Christianity is what?
In all its forms and ramifications.
Eradicated. And some of you don't reason. I keep saying, I'm sure, of course, while people are listening, they're listening via TuneIn. Some of you have forgotten there was a time when I used to come on air every night. Radio Biafra was trending as the most listened radio station in the whole world, even more than BBC. Have you all forgotten? When I used to broadcast every day, People listen to Radio Biafra more than they listen to BBC. Are you aware of that? Are you aware? You don't know how far we've come. Now, do you remember last week or 2 weeks ago they were saying Boko Haram is going to surrender? They went and they were begging Shekau that Shekau should take his jihad to the south. Conquer the south for them. Are you aware of it? That was when the signs were good. They said, oh, what? They are going to surrender. And the terms of the deal was that Shekau will come out and say, I have surrendered, and now take his men to the south. They don't know that Shekau, as mad as he is a principled man. Shekau is a principled man. He said, no, I will remain in the northeast. That was why it fell apart. They started saying, oh, watch it now. I think they want, we are getting signals, they want to surrender. That was when Aisha Buhari was begging them, according to the wishes of the dead Buhari. Remember that when Buhari pleaded with Shekau to stop attacking the north, Shekau said no. Buhari now went and sponsored the son of Yusuf, tried to divide Boko Haram into two. That was how Al-Banawi came up. Al-Banawi is the son of Yusuf because Buhari is involved. The job of Al-Banawi's men are the ones now coming down. The job of Al-Banawi is to attack military installations and the Christians. If you don't know, that Al-Banawi was arrested. Right about the same time I was arrested. He came to court. They gave him bail. No condition. He walked away from Abuja Federal High Court. Are you listening? For those toddling around in the creek. Yes, sure. For those swimming in the swamp in the creek. Mokoko. Al-Banawi was released to bring his men down south. They are the ones who are coming. With the help of Dangote, a well-planned... don't worry now. I said don't worry. You'll see what will happen soon. Don't worry. I said don't... Mark my words. I said don't worry. Mark today's date. I said don't worry. They can rape here and there, kill here and there, but for their main army to be unleashed on our land, they know it is suicide. If their main army is unleashed on our land, we will not only confront them, and God is my witness, any idiotic diplomat anywhere in the world should hear this. Any fool, any closet jihadist, white or black, hear this very well. If God in heaven is my witness, to go to God and I serve is my witness. Any day they launch any concerted attack on the land of Biafra, that war will not stop until Sokoto Caliphate falls. Write it down. Write it down. Any day you launch an attack on our land, God is my, we will fight that war for 100 years until Sokoto, the house of the Sultan of Sokoto is demolished. Then you know how mad we are. We have not shown we are showing our madness in diplomacy in a few here and there. You will now see the unveiling of the madness of IPOB. Then you will understand that we have men. Take that your madness to the north and be doing that rubbish, because the issue is ending this year. Whether Yoruba like it or not, Yoruba can remain in slavery for the rest of them. That's their business. They love slavery. They took a lot from you and you did nothing. So you can remain as slaves if you like. But we are going home. Mad people everywhere. Think we are going to put up with this rubbish? Is that what you think? With Nnamdi Kanu leading Biafra, you think I'll put up with all this rubbish? Oh, you're insane.
Now, this was not mentioned in the introduction because I don't think that is something I want to talk about, but I just have to mention it. So God told us to go to Turkey and learn certain things. September last year,
in Turkey was Constantinople, the head of the church in the east. The Orthodox Church was headquartered in Constantinople. The man that gave you Jesus Christ, more or less. The man that made Jesus Christ fashionable. The man that put the New Testament together. Emperor Constantine. His base was in Constantinople. present-day Turkey, Istanbul. Do you understand? Today, Turkey is an Islamic country. Ilorin was Yoruba land. Ilorin was Yoruba land. Today it is an emirate. Why don't you people ever learn from history? Why don't you people ever learn? Anyway, that brings us to the close of the program today. But before we continue, or should I say, before we discontinue, I should say, let us take, I'm not going to take, I don't know if I will take calls or take messages. Once I start with calls now, they will flood everywhere and I will not be able to hear myself reason. Let us see if we can be able to take calls on WhatsApp. Can we take calls on WhatsApp, please? If you know how to reach us, then try and reach us. We are going to attempt to take calls on WhatsApp. Let me try and get these things working and see if we can connect to make it possible for people to be able to speak. Once you call, please, you begin to speak. You begin to speak. I don't want people wasting time and asking, oh, can you hear me? Can you not hear me? I want you, once you are with us, you begin immediately to speak, please. Very, very critical, very, very important. And once again, I will give you the telephone. Somebody's calling. I will answer this very call. The caller on the phone. Can you hear me? Your name and where you're calling from, please. Oh my goodness, they keep coming. The flooding is too much. Can you hear me? You can hear me. Let me see. I don't even know how to direct the call so that you will be able to hear me. The caller on the phone, can you hear me? People won't allow us to rest. The calls are too many. Always too much. I don't know. We need to try and do something about this. I don't know how the settings work in iPhone so that one can take only one call. The caller on the phone, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, please. Give us your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Mr. Betty. I'm calling from our Mama Imo State.
The same one mama that mad people come from.
Yes, I'm calling from our mama.
From our mama, please go ahead, please go. What do you want to say?
Okay, I want to thank you very well for opening our eyes.
Oh my goodness. Can you hold on, please? I don't know the reason why I cannot seem to be able to control this. It is just madness. I don't know how to control this. We have tech savvy people, and I wish they can be able to help us sort this thing out. The calls keep flooding in, and I'm trying to. How do I disable this thing? I don't want it to be on hold, but it's not listening. I can't understand. I cannot, for the life of me, understand this very thing. I don't know how it's going to work. And please, if you have anything to say. If you have anything, please try and go to my page. I'm going to read out. I will be able to read out. Let me try this one again and see if it will work. The calls are just... I want to disable it. It's never allowing me to disable the... I don't know. Can you hear me, the caller on the phone?
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Please, your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Bangkok.
From Bangkok, is in Thailand, and I was there a few years ago. Please go ahead. What would you like to say?
What I want to say is about becoming a member of IPOB. I want to be a member, and I have contacted them, and they gave me the leaflet of the oath that I should swear. I agreed, and I told them that also I will agree on this time, but I am allowed to criticize or say my opinion in a good way, not meant to destroy IPOB or destroy the leader. And they said, no, I'm not allowed to say anything. I just have to swear the oath like that. And I just think like it's too strict. I don't have any bad intention. Do you have anything to say about this?
Why do you want to join IPOB to start with? Why? Why don't you join any other group? Why IPOB?
I love your style, and I love the promises you have made, and I'm in support in overall. I just want to give support to Biafra, nothing more than that. Just want to give my support and make my contributions. The reason
why we are where we are today is because of the level of discipline that we have. We have nothing, only the grace of the Most High. So the only next thing we have is discipline that is unmatched anywhere in Africa. That is why a movement like IPOB can crush a country, can crush a dictatorship. We didn't do it because we are every day we flippantly criticize for the sake of it. We welcome criticism, but you cannot tamper with the oath. You must be under oath. Then you can say whatever you like, you can write whatever you like, you can advise, but not to destroy, because we know that some of us, after the war, our mothers were impregnated by the Fulani, the Janjaweed. And although that some of us are half Biafra, half Fulani, we understand that. Oh, to cleanse from your system.
I have gotten your point. This is what I really want, very, very not to swear the oath. You have given me the assurance that I am allowed to express my feelings
of course.
In a constructive way.
We are live and many people are calling from everywhere. Let us take this call. Who is the caller on the line? Your name, please, and where you're calling from? Yes, your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Ogun now. I'm calling from Iguacha.
From Iguacha, the beautiful land of Iguacha, and the future capital of Biafra land. Go ahead, please.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello. I'm so great to hear.
You see the problem. You see the life, our life we're living. Somebody from Thailand now, there was no problem. So as soon as you call from once you call from anywhere called Nigeria, there's a problem. I'm sorry, my dear brother. I would have loved to listen to you. I'm very sorry. They call the line. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, my name is Charles Obidike. I'm calling from Onitsha.
Go on, Obidike, go ahead.
I just want to thank my leader this morning. All he has been saying is nothing but the truth. And nothing but the truth. So even I started witnessing Nigeria being a failed state since 1966, when my father was killed in the Kanu by those men that were doing boxmen for him. He was a first-class engine driver then, and he was killed with a knife. And since that time to today, Nigerian people has been killing people. So all the slaughtering that we are seeing today, it doesn't surprise me. And that is why I am no longer going to the north anymore. So what Nnamdi Kanu is doing is very truth. And the religious people they have been enslaving us in this country for so many years, telling us lies. While I know that the Bible, even Jesus Christ, they are preaching for us, said in John chapter 8:32, that only the truth has set us free. So when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu came up with this truth, I know that it will go a long way. So I want to appreciate God and Chukwu Kabema for him that he should take it on. And we are hoping to see Biafra as he has assured us this year. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
He said, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. And I ask Chukwu Biama to guide, sustain, and bless and keep you immensely. We have another caller on the line. We have somebody on the line. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yeah. Good morning. Yeah, this is a call from London. And my name is Francis Atuego. Yeah, I just want to tell you to go ahead with what you're doing. As long as you're for Biafra, for freedom, we're all behind you. Thank you.
Thank you. What else could I be for? Having lost my parents, there is nothing else I am focused on doing from day one, since the day I was born. Most of you don't know the day I was born. One day I will tell you the precise day and the time. The time and the reason why I was born on that very day. One day I will tell you. One day I will tell you. I have just received information here that TVC News, which belongs to Tinubu, said that the whole thing was live, whereas the NTA that belongs to the zoo called Nigeria, it is not live. Hey, Zoological Republic. I wish I can post it. I wish I can have this posted that the world may see it. The calls are just too much. Way too much. Way too much. Way too much. What is happening to the calls? Are they not coming again? It's just all I can see. The system has actually, the calls have actually crashed the system. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. That is the strength of IPOB. We are all over the world. All over the world. All over the world. There's somebody calling. Do we have somebody on the line? Let me see. Do we have any other person on the line? Yes, let us go and take this call. The caller on the line, can you hear me?
Hello, good morning, sir. My name is Heabo Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, please go ahead.
Yeah, Daddy, I just want to thank you very much for the good work that you are doing. And it's because of you I know that I'm Biafra, that my mother is from Biafra. I even asked my mother, why is she tying to rapper? She said she met her mother tying to a rapper. And I told her that you are Biafra. She said she don't know a country that called Biafra. And I said, you are a Biafra woman. And she said, okay, since she said that she's a Biafra woman, that okay, she's a Biafra. And I told her my family, my sisters, that they are Biafra. Because my mother she's from Sabo Gida Ora. And I told her.
And where is that?
Biafra
and where is that?
From near Ishan side.
Ishan, okay.
After Ishan is Sabo. Then I told her that you are a Biafra. And she said she don't know. Because she didn't go to school because of what's happened to her. No good resources, sure. Nobody to take good care of her. And I say you are a Biafran woman. And Daddy, I want to really, really thank you. It's because I'm following you for about 2 years now. And it's because of you I know that I'm a Biafra. They didn't teach me history in school, and I don't know the country, anything called Biafra. So since I've been following you, I now know that, yes, I am a Biafra woman. And even people is asking me, because I live in the Netherlands, people is asking me where I come from. I say I came from Biafra.
Very good.
I'm proud of myself. I'm a Biafra.
Thank you.
And I pray that the heaven at last for you. And anybody that wants to put you down, God will put them down.
You see?
I pray more wisdom and knowledge for you. More wisdom, more knowledge for you and your family. Because I really, really want Biafra to come. Because now I'm even crying the killings, the raping everywhere. No good facility, no good road. I don't know. People are blind. People don't want to talk. Even the so-called artists, they don't want to say it out. And people are still be fighting you all year, all day. Are fighting you. They don't want to put their head down to know the truth. People know the truth, but they don't want to say it out. They are scared to say it out. Can you imagine my family? Daddy, at times I am even confused. Why am I even, why God even creates me in Africa?
It's very sad. Don't be, it's very, very sad. Very, very sad. Very, very sad.
Very, very sad, Daddy, because looking at what is happening in the country, and people are out there supporting Nigeria. People are out there, see insult you when they know the truth. They don't want to say it out. God bless you, Daddy.
And you too.
Don't listen to them and continue to do your good job, sir.
Thank you.
Heaven at last for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Our dear sister that have just discovered who she is. She comes from after Isha, which is Biafra land. If you doubt what we are saying, go through your mother's wardrobe. If she has two-piece wrapper, then you are one of us. You are a Biafran. And about the people who are talking and they say people are complaining or they are talking, people who are fighting, nobody's fighting me. How can Okoko fight me? Is that possible? How can somebody who is inconsequential fight a child of heaven? I destroy governments. I don't fight individuals. I destroy government. As I told Buhari, I would destroy you, and he was destroyed. That is the fight I fight. I told Abakari, you will go down for coming to my house to kill people, and he's gone. I don't respond to every madman I see. I'm not crazy. These are mad people. How can I be responding to a madman? I can't respond to a madman. I can't respond to a madman. We are live and we are direct, and believe you me, that we have now nearly 4,000 calls. How many thousand calls do we have? Let me see. We're on WhatsApp. Let me see how many thousand. In fact, the system has crashed. Too many calls has crashed the system. Now our sister Elizabeth is crying. She is weeping. She is crying. She is complaining. Why was I even born in the first place? And who can blame her? Who can blame her with all the nonsense happening? They say, oh, they are Ishan. You are Ishan. You are this. Oh, you're not Igbo. Those Igbo people. Not knowing we are one. They want. Do you see why God chose that I should come? Do you see it? Do you see why I said no? When they said, take your 5 Igbo states and go, and I said no. I have brothers and I have sisters in Edo. I have them in Delta. I have brothers and sisters even in Ondo. Ondo. His son is in Ondo. I will take them with me. The job people in Ondo, I will take them with me. Write it as I'm speaking, write it down. I will take them with me. So that they may know. I love the Yoruba race, to be honest with you. As I told you, I am my sisters are married there. Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling from?
Took $21 billion out and gave it to OIC, to the Islamic Development Fund of OIC, and said, take this money.
Amanda, the finest name, the most beautiful name in Biafra land. The most beautiful name
in general. $1.
But the job part of Ondo, I am taking with me. We are going to be together as one happy family in Biafra land. Everybody will be on their own, managing their own affairs and but all together we are one family. That is why, that was when we started. Do you know how the story of IPOB one family? Do you know how it began?
It's formed and ramifications.
One day,
Nigeria is a member nation. All non-Muslim religions, such religions shall include Christianity.
USA. I thank you for your good job. And I want to use this opportunity to thank all my brothers and sisters all over the world for them to please support you in everything you are doing to make sure that we succeed in our father's land. In Chukwu Kabiama, I pray.
He said,
my king.
He said, we are live and we are direct. Thank you very much for calling. We are live and we are direct, and the whole world is listening. They have cut us again from Facebook. They pushed us out, but we are going back in. We are going back into Facebook. We are not going anywhere. They want to try me. We are not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. We are continuing. We are continuing. We are continuing. We must broadcast. Elohim said we should broadcast, and that is exactly what we are doing. We are live and we are direct, and the whole world is listening. The caller on the phone, can you hear me? The caller on the phone, our systems are all over the place. Our systems, they are just crashing left, right, and center. Left, right, and center. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Left, right, and center. Our systems cannot cope. They cannot cope. Millions of calls coming in at the same time. Is this even a complex gadget as Apple systems? They are just crumbling all over the place, left, right, and center. I want to see if people can write on WhatsApp and also on Facebook. Let us see exactly what is happening. Let us try and see if we can. I'm telling you the truth. I want to take more calls, but the system has crashed completely. This is Felix Elijah Anyanwu. What are you saying? He's saying I am too much. Elohim is too much, of course. Thank you very much. Everything we do by the grace of the Most High. I love that name so much. I don't know why I love it. I think it's a very sexy name. Amandoba, very, very sexy. One day we are going to do a competition. Everybody will say where they come from, as we used to do in the olden days. If you can remember, prior to my incarceration in 2015, we used to do all of that. We'll come on air and we'll say where we come from. And the whole world will be listening and marveling at what we are doing. The caller on the phone, can you hear me? The caller on the phone, can you hear me? You see, they are calling from the zoo. They can't hear me. They cannot hear me. They cannot hear me. We are live and we are direct. Heaven and earth is bearing us witness. Chukwokika Biama is bearing us witness. It's bearing us witness. I don't know what to do. Basically, what I'm trying to do is to try and reconfigure the system to see if I can take more calls before we bring our proceedings to a close. The lines are crashing. We have over 5,000 calls, 5,000 missed calls. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Our lines are crashing. We are back again on Facebook. Don't think they can stop it. They don't know how stubbornly determined we are. We are IPOB. Very, very determined. Let me tell you something you will not believe. I am trying to switch on this iPhone and it is not working anymore. That is to tell you that even the phone is complaining about the formidability of IPOB. That even iPhone of all people is now, of all gadgets I should say, is also complaining that it's working too hard. We are IPOB, we are relentless. We never stop. We do not stop, we keep going. And that's what I'm going to do. I will continue to take your calls this very morning. We are live. I will continue to take calls this morning, or should I say heading into afternoon, from where I am and also in the blessed land of Biafra. Our lines are open once again. Our lines are open. Let's take this call. The caller on the phone, can you hear me? He is not. Can you hear me? The caller on the phone, can you hear me? He is not listening. He is not listening. And believe you me, once I switch the phone on, it freezes again because the calls coming in, even an iPhone cannot take it. And that is iPhone 12 for that matter. The Pro that some people in the USA bought for me. Wonderful people. When they see me with it now, they'll be wondering, but we are serving Elohim. I want to see if I can take some questions online on Facebook and also on WhatsApp. I want to see if I can take some messages on WhatsApp. Even the WhatsApp that is on the computer can't even open. That too has crashed. I'm sure by now they'll be wondering. They'll be wondering who are these people taking up all the spaces in their system. Unbelievable. He's saying retrying. He's not even doing it. That is how serious it is. That is how serious it is. Unbelievable. Let's try and see if we can take calls. I can't take calls on Facebook, can I? I don't think so. I don't think so. Let us try and see what we can do in relation to being able to make this as interactive as possible on this very day. On this very day. Let us try and see what we can do to make it interactive. I want to go back to Facebook to try and see if I can take your messages from Facebook. Let me try it from Facebook and see how possible that will be. Let's see, because we have about 4.6. That is not bad. Let me see if I can take some messages. Some of you, let us see what is happening. Let us see. Any questions on Facebook, I will take it. Even iPhone is complaining. Apple is complaining. Ernest Okeke from Enugu State. I didn't quite get what you were saying. They just way too much. Way too much. Who is this? Blessing Ngozi, okay, best. What exactly are you saying? Blessing Ngozi, okay, best. What are you saying? That one is gone. Ika village in Edo State, can they join? Everybody can join IPOB. Once you're an indigenous person, you can join. Once your mother ties two-piece wrapper, you can join us. We have a lot of people from Edo State who are part of, I wouldn't say Edo State, I would say Benin itself, because Asian is, of course, the tie two-piece wrapper, and they are Biafra. They are Biafra. Somebody is saying, Fabian Keegan is saying that even warriors why wouldn't they be afraid of us? Why would they not be afraid of us? Why would they not be afraid? Omoroma Mandoba is a beautiful name. I love it. My goodness, beautiful name. So sexy. So sexy. It's a very beautiful name. Forget any other name you may hear. Omoroma Mandoba is without doubt the most beautiful and sexiest name we have in Biafra land, unless there are some that I have not heard of before. Unless there are some I have not heard of before. I'm trying to read the messages as you... Somebody is saying that he's in love with me. Nonso Christopher. And I love you too. I love you too. Nonso Christopher. May Elohim bless you immensely. God's will. Thank you very much. Okonweze. You are arguing with... Donatus said he was arguing with someone. Arguing with who? Donatus arguing with who? Who were you arguing with? Said he was saying, I have missed that very message. I have missed it. Donatus said he was arguing with somebody. I have missed it. Jeff Austin says, I'm an inspiration. Elohim is our guide. The zoo is falling. I'm sure they have gone into convulsion. I have proven beyond every reasonable doubt that the zoo doesn't exist anymore. That rock is empty. That was the essence of our program this very morning. They said a typical Benin woman ties two-piece wrapper. Then they are welcome to this very family. That's the Godomigodo. We'll go back to that later on. One day I will teach the Benin Kingdom. I will devote 3 hours to lecturing on the very colorful. It's an institution that I respect so much. Very, very colorful institution. Is way, can I put it, beyond the comprehension of most mortals. Thank you very much. St. Carl, Victoria, Chinenye. Elohim can never ever forget our job. Bright, Wokoma. You can name your son after me, of course. You may. It's an honor, actually. Thank you very much. Hilary Tochi. Elohim is with you. Chidera Darlington Obunna. The zoo has fallen already. Lady Hadassah. Hey, I want to see if I can find. Where is she? This one is Hadassah. Maybe she's Awosa. I hope she's not Fulani or Awosa, please. Yes, you can marry Awosa if you want, because they are lovely people. But the Fulani is a bit, they have to go back to Futajalon. Please. Her name is Hadassah, or maybe they get back to her in the north. Nobody knows. James Tete, he said that the zoo is gone. And Elohim is mighty, of course he is. Kogi ties two-piece wrapper. Once your mother ties two-piece wrapper, you are one of us. You are one of us. Our boundary was determined in heaven, not on this earth. God Almighty drew the boundary. The only people in the whole world that God drew their boundary for them, not man. The names I'm saying here, because Chibueze said God is king, not man. Not man. Once your mother ties two-piece wrapper, you and I are one. One blood and one family. That is why when we say IPOB, we say one family. One family, indivisible under God. Indivisible under God. Akachuku Joseph, Elohim is with you. Cassandra Ijoma, you are blessed. Ononubo Jonathan. Of course, Biafra is very near. Very near. Mary George. Mary Joe. Hey, for that hand there. Hey, is this? I'm suspecting some of these names, so they gave birth to them in Lagos and the Kanu. Some names I'm seeing here. All the Ghanaian will lose each. Some people were born outside Biafra land. The names I'm seeing here, all these mishmash names, I don't understand it. But Edwin Wankwo is one of us. Wabweze, Charles Chukwu Diokafo is a Biafran. Alaboso Damian is a Biafran. Thedeus Amechi, you are one of us. Angore Kanwoye, you are one of us. Let me go back to say, or to address you with what Oriental brothers used to say in those days, because I cannot mention all your names. Therefore, I will say it in English and also say it in Igbo language. Both those I mentioned and those I did not mention, we are all one blood and one family. Ndem ni mkpọrọ aha, ma ndem na kpọrọ aha ha, unu niile bụ ụmụnne m. I thank you very much for listening this very day, and as always, without hesitation, without any fear nor favor. I studiously maintain, unshakably so, that Biafra is our religion. Here on Radio Biafra is where we worship, because Elohim is our God. From me, from here, it is good morning.
Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. Inyamadika yabika kwa namno. Hey, anamekele mazuche mefo. Manemo, it's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along. Holy, 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 holy. Nnamdi Kanu is another savior. Sing along. Holy, 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 holy. Nnamdi Kanu is another savior. When I sing along. Holy, 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 holy. Is another savior. Getting moving right and getting moving faster now. Nnamdi Kanu is another savior.
From east to west, from north to south. Can't you see the sun is rising? All your wave your flag and be proud of who you are. Because the sun is rising. We're shining so bright all over the world. We are the sun, we are rising. The windows and curtains, green lights be revealing. When I think about how blessed we are, goosebumps all over my body. Sunrise to the clock strike. Black strands crossing gray stripes. Clashes upon clashes, many lives come to ashes. When I ponder and reminisce, the actions I see malice. Blood on the ground, this is how we fly. Our beautiful flag, all around the world. Blood on the ground, this is how we fly. Our beautiful flag, all around the world. We go carry the cross together, we walk through to Zion. We stumble, we rise, how the victory will start. They will know, they will know. From east to west, from north to south. Can't you see the sun is rising? I still wave your flag all over the world. Because the sun is rising. I still be shining so bright all over the world. We are the sun, we are rising. They will know, they will know, they will know. Every time I shine, the sun is rising. Wave your flag anywhere you want. Yeah. It's just see the sun is rising. Oh.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program. This is Sunday Politics on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Lagos. There is frenzy yet again, and the political atmosphere is getting heated ahead of some governorship elections slated in Edo and Ondo State. Come September the 19th, the people of Edo State will go to the polls to elect the governor, who will lead them for another 4 years. In a matter of days, the political parties will conduct their primaries to determine their flag bearers ahead of these elections. Well, let me show you first and foremost for the People's Democratic Party, the aspirants there gone in for the ticket of the party. 2 of them were screened physically, and one of them was done. The screening was done virtually, and you can see that the aspirants who had is screened virtually. Kenneth Imaswagbon joins us on the program. Mr. Kenneth Imaswagbon is popularly called a rice man. He's a philanthropist, educationist, and a lawyer. He will be seeking to be Edo State governor for the 4th time. Thank you so much, Mr. Imaswagbon, for joining us tonight on the program. But it's interesting that you're perhaps, unfortunately, caught up with the coronavirus outside of Nigeria. Isn't this a major blow for your primaries and your election bid?
Thank you so much, Sharon, for having me in your program. How are you doing, Sharon? How's your family, your wonderful family doing?
Thank you. We're well.
Okay, now to your question. I traveled on the 15th of March to see my family and to see my business in the United States of America. And I was caught up with the coronavirus. Well, we survived it. The world will survive it. Nigeria will survive it. I must quickly say the Buhari administration did well. You know, I'm not his supporter, but on the supervision of coronavirus, we monitored, we prayed for Nigeria, and I want to say congratulations, Nigeria, for the actions the president took. But beyond that, I think on coronavirus, I am okay. I've done my test, COVID test, in one of the best laboratories in the world. By April, I did my first major test. I was tested negative. Last week, I did 2. Monday last week, I did 2. On my way to Nigeria, I was specifically told that before I can come to Nigeria, I need to do my COVID test, and I was negative. I got to the UK 4 days ago. On Friday, I did the third test. I was negative. Of course, I was negative because I followed the rules. Stay away from, observe social distance, wash your hands, wear your face masks, and isolate. And to that extent, I am ready to come back home and to participate at the primaries of our Greek party, the PDP.
What confidence do you have in the process, in the PDP, for example? You were a financier and one of the, perhaps, the supporters of the backbone of the AC then. Before you now moved to the PDP at some point. You went back to the APC and back now to the PDP. And you have complained bitterly about internal party process. But in the PDP where you are now, what gives you the confidence that things will be done properly? Because this is what you have always campaigned against.
Absolutely, Sean. I'm confident now that things will be done right because of the leadership of our national men and women in Abuja, of our great party, the PDP. Kudos to Secondo Suchi, wonderful guy, and the NEC members. Our governors, PDP governors are wonderful governors. You've got the likes of Wike, Tambo, Pintiri, Okowa, Udom, wonderful people. They want a free and fair primaries in Edo. Secondos have read the Riot Act that he wants a free and fair primaries. Now, Edo is for PDP to take or to lose. Our actions are inaction leading to the process leading to the primaries, and the primary itself will determine whether we are going to win. Of course, we know that APC is in tatters in Edo. The center is not holding for them. Trouble everywhere. I pity APC. Of course, the electorates have made up their mind. that giving a free and fair, credible primaries that will produce Kenneth Maswangbon, they will vote PDP. And by God's grace, I assure you, Sean, this is my fourth political journey, wanting to govern Edo. I've seen battles in the course of trying to be governor. I've engaged armed robbers, I've engaged kidnappers, I've engaged traders, merchants, political merchants, people who doesn't like men that are talented like me. I've engaged all sorts of things, but this time around, I believe in my God Almighty, and I believe in Secondus, the NOS, and the total package today as we have it under the leadership of Secondus. I know I will have a free and fair primaries, myself and my two other colleagues. It will be free and fair, and whosoever wins under that umbrella called the PDP, under the umbrella of free and fair primaries, we will defeat APC. APC is gone in Edo. I have been in opposition all through in Edo. I have touched life. Edo people are yearning and begging for Maswangbon to have the ticket. I wish by God's grace, by the time I get the ticket, APC, they know that time is up. This is my red card for the APC administration. Obaseki, my governor, thanks very much for the job you've done in these 4 years. But this job you've done is not good enough. And now, by the 19th, when I emerge, the time will be over for the APC administration.
I'm very certain that you're very much aware, of course, you know a lot of the politics of Edo State. There is a man from the Central Senatorial District of Edo State right now at the helm of affairs. And there are a lot of thinking now that your party is in fact thinking in that direction, that any candidate that will emerge on the platform of the PDP should be a candidate from the Central. You are not from the Central. You are from the Southern Senatorial District of Edo State. Is this a major worry for you?
Not at all, Sean, but a point of correction, respectfully. Obaseki is from the South, I'm from Central. I'm not worried at all because I'll take you through history. In Edo, we are one people. There is no Central, there is no South, there is no North. What we have is a united Edo State. We have one father, the Omonoba. We all take our root from the Benin Kingdom, the Great Benin Empire and the Great Benin Kingdom. We are one people. No division, no division, no division. However, if we go down the lane, Isha, where I'm from, they will argue we're minority. Yes, though we are minority, we are what I call we are minority majority under the PDP. Since 1999, no Isha person from our senatorial have served as governor. But for Osumbo time was short-lived, about 12 months. You can't say that 12 months in 20 years we have had a fair share. Justice and equity therefore demands that now Edo Central should have the slot. When I was a child, in the old Bende State, Professor Ambrose Ali of blessed memory is from my senatorial. He won the election. When you had the Benin, you had the Jos. The Jos are the fourth largest ethnic group in Nigeria. But Isha won the governorship under the Professor Ambrose Ali then. Osumbo, in his 18 months or 12 months, he won the election. Even Oshomole won against General Charles. General Charles lost the 18 local government to Governor Shomole. So the Beninese are not tribalists. They are wonderful people. Yes, they are our big brothers. They love ability, talents, potential, and those who can perform. In 2012, I defeated General Charles in 4 local governments in Edo South. So what the PDP today need to defeat the APC party or the APC administration? You take the governorship to the minority majority because the chunk of votes always come from Isha. That's what Chief Anene did, at least for the PDP of blessed memory. Look, by the time I'm given the ticket, I win by God's grace on the 19th. Every shaman will vote PDP. My popularity, I'm Ken the Rice Man. There's no house, there's no human being I've not touched his life in Edo State, whether living or dead, in the past 20 years. Edo people are waiting for my emergence. Even Governor Adam Oshomole and Governor Obaseki, they know the godson and the godfather. They know if I take the party's ticket, it's self-inane. That is, it is all over for APC. Because every human being in Edo State will want to say, Ken, thank you for your kindness. Thank you for the rights you have shared over the years. Thank you for the schools you have built and repaired. Thank you for the church you are giving. Thank you for the hospital bills you have paid. Thank you for everything you have done. The orphans I have taken care of in the past 20 years. Thank you for the military men and women in uniform in pay-settled schools that pay less 20% of school fees in the past 25 years. I have served my country. I'm proud to be a Nigerian. I'm prouder to be an Edo indigene. I'm very proud to be an Ishama. I'm very proud to take my sword from the Oba of Benin. I tell you, Sean, this election will be about issue. It will be about integrity. It will be about who you are. It will be about your past. It will be about what you can do. Look, the era of imposition is gone and gone forever. This is why I say God bless Secondus administration and God bless our government. I'm grateful for what our governors, the position they've taken. I'm grateful to Secondus and his team for what they are doing. If you look, I appeal to the delegates of our party. The only way to win is for us to show maturity and equity and justice and fair play. As soon as the enlightened Edo electors see that the primaries of PDP is free and fair, devoid of rancor and of sentiments, I tell you, no, even the game is already decided. Even the APC, they know.
So, Mr. Maswagbon, being a philanthropist, being an educationist, a lawyer, we all know that those are not enough to being a governor. What do you think you possess? What are the attributes that makes you think that you are the kind of person that the Edo people need as their governor?
I'm the kind of person. I will tell you why. Look at my past. My past qualifies me more than Ogbede, more than Gideon. Look, I respect Ogbede, I respect Gideon, but they don't have my records. My record speaks for me. One, I'm a lawyer. Two, I have been running my private business. I've never done federal government contract. I've never done state government contract. I've never done local government contract. I'm one person that have created wealth. I will make Edo great again. Edo up and down will come back again. The glory of Edo shall return under my watch. I've been prepared to be governor. For 15 years, I've been wanting to be the governor of Edo State. What does that mean spiritually? What does that mean metaphorically? It means that I've got a plan, I've got a mission, I've got a method, I've got the answers to Edo. Our schools are bad in Edo today. There are no rules in our school. Look, running school, I've been running school for 20 years. At times I don't pay salaries because at times I pay. It's difficult to make money in our poor state of economy and run a business without doing government contract, without being patronized by government. You know what it is that 50% of students in my school are on scholarship? When a policeman dies in service in Nigeria, and if they are in my school, their children don't pay school fees. More than 20 officers that pass through, policemen, military men and women in uniform, they have 20% off. What service can be greater than that? Power and politics is about compassion. It is about love. It is about who you are. I have the experience. I have been prepared.
So let's look at what is obtainable in your party right now. I understand that internally in your party, you are not a favorite because most of those, the power brokers in your party do think that someone not from your senatorial district should be their flag bearer. Isn't that a major problem in the first place? If you don't get a ticket, isn't the dream dashed already?
I will tell you, God bless Chief Lucky Binejo, Chief Tommy Kimiro Mondekwesi, and our major leaders. In Lucky's house last year, a major decision was taken that no zoning. That decision was taken because Lucky and the other leaders, Chief Tommy Kimiro Mondekwesi, and many others, Ogiadome, they felt that there should be a departure from imposition. Let the best candidate emerge. But I know there are some traders among Edo State leadership, my political merchants, that is trying to tailor a process in favor of a particular candidate, but it's going to fail because the delegates themselves know what is at what risk there is. That except we present a popular candidate in Kenneth Imaswagbon, the rice man, who cuts across the 18 local government, have touched the very weak of the society, that have helped the poor, that have paid school fees. Look, Sheon, go to UPTH. A hospital there is named after me. Why? Because every year I go to the UPTH teaching hospital, I pay medical bills for those who can't afford it. I am a son of a poor man. I saw poverty. And now I am comfortable. I want to make Edo a place of comfort where I will build schools.
All right.
Roads will be built.
So, Mr. Imaswagbon, you have tasted, you've been out in and out of different political parties at different times based on your grievances. Should you lose the primaries of the PDP this time around, would you be leaving the PDP?
Before I give you my answer, Sean, I will not stop running to be governor of Edo State until I reach my goal. I am going to, make no mistake, I am a very resilient person. Those who know me from my school days know me. I am a courageous man. My courage is as strong as steel. I will be governor. God has told me that. No man born of woman will stop me. I can tell you I'm unstoppable. Because I have God, I have Edo people backing me. Go and take the data.
But Mr. Imaswagbon, did God tell you when you're going to be governor? Is it this time around? When did God tell you exactly?
Yes, time and season belongs to God. And God knows when, but I'm applying myself to time.
All right, quickly, if you may answer the question I asked about these primaries, should you lose the primary, would you leave the PDP?
Yes, great question. Let me tell you, Joe, we can win now. If what Secondus is doing, if he carries that through, and it's a free and fair primaries, we're having the Congress on the 9th. I'm flying it on that. I'm flying into the country on the 9th of September. I may not be able to make the Congress, but if they allow a free and fair Congress, and the primary is free and fair, and I know I will win anything free and fair, I am going to beat Ogbede, silly. I'm going to demystify Gideon. They don't have my trappings and my rating and my public appeal to the electors. If they don't badger the electors, if they don't muzzle them, if they allow a free and fair process, of course, if I'm defeated, I will shake and hug whosoever wins, and I will contribute my campaign material and money to whosoever wins. But under one condition, it must be under a free and fair process.
Okay, so look, we need to go now, Mr. Imaswagbon. So are you saying, Mr. Imaswagbon, you seem to think that out of the three of you who are contesting for the ticket of the PDP, you are perhaps the one that can confront a Godwin Obaseki, for example, should Godwin Obaseki emerges as the flag bearer of the APC?
Yes, quickly, John. Ihama cannot win. Do you know why he cannot win? It will be a wrong and the weakest strategy of PDP to feed Ihama. Ihama is from the same place, senatorial district, from Obaseki. He is actually from Oredo. Do you think Edo voters will vote and Ihama against Obaseki? Never. It's not going to happen. That would be dreaming. Do you think Ihama can defeat Izeamu? Izeamu is not here. We've been allies. It's a machine. But I am the only one that can demolish Izeamu machine and Obaseki political machine because let me land before you take me off. We've done this before.
Just give me 1 minute, and we'll go on a break. When we come back, I'll allow you for your last word on the program. Don't go anywhere. More on the battle for the Edo State governorship seats up next on the program. We'll be joined by the incumbent governor, Godwin Obaseki. He joins me after now. Join us again, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. Let's get back to the conversation on tonight. We'll be focusing on Edo governorship election. Let's get our final moment with Mr. Kenneth Imaswagbon. He's a PDP aspirant, one of the three jostling for the party's ticket. Thank you so much, Mr. Imaswagbon. Let's get your final thought on the program. You were going to, let me allow you to land on that thought you were on before we went on the break.
I recommend strongly that we should go and apply the kind of tactics we used against PDP in 2009. Myself and Isaiah, we were the one that led the opposition against PDP. We said, okay, how can we defeat PDP? I was in the game as an aspirant. I was stepped down 2 days by Chitomi Kimi and many others then, that the party needed a popular candidate, though from minority, the Isako and Edo North Senatorial District, and they needed someone that had the popularity and the appeal. And the only way we could defeat a federal party and a state-led party was to get a popular candidate. And I was stepped down. 6 of us were stepped down. Charles Sidausa is alive. Asked him. He was stepped down. I was stepped down. I would have taken the ticket, but they appealed to me that they needed a popular candidate. My advice to our party is that it's the same strategy. Build a popular candidate against Obaseki or Odubu or Ogemoyi. We will take the day, irrespective of the zone or the senatorial. The electorate wants a popular person who can address the issue of hunger. I will do that. I'm tired of sharing rice. I want to plant rice. I want to engage people in employment. I'm tired of paying medical bills. I want to build hospitals. I'm tired of seeing Edo people rob. Some of them, not all of them. I want to create jobs for the young men and women in Edo. I have all my life created jobs in Abuja. And there's no Abuja citizen that will not vote for me. They come to me, they say, oh, we pray. Let Edo know what you are doing so that they give you tickets. It will be all over for APC.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kenneth Imaswagbon. And we wish you all the very best as your party and yourself go into that primaries in the coming days. Thank you so much, Kenneth Imaswagbon, one of the aspirants of the PDP ahead of the governorship election. Let's switch gears now. We're still talking about Edo governorship race. This time around, let's look into the All Progressives Congress, the ruling party. Let me show you some of those who are gunning for the ticket of the APC. In the lead is the incumbent governor, Godwin Obaseki, Osage Izeyamo, Pius Odubu, Chris Ogenwanyi, Osaro Obaze, and Matthew Idokreyawen. Those are the people that are jostling for the ticket of the APC. Let's speak with the incumbent, the governor of Edo State, who is also an aspirant in this case. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Governor of Edo State, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sheung.
So you're wearing two hats tonight as an aspirant and also as a governor, because we would like to touch on governance issues and also your bid in wanting the ticket of the APC. First and foremost, you think you deserve a re-election?
Oh, definitely, Sheung, definitely. If you know where Edo was in 2016, when I assumed office, and where it is today, you will agree we've made tremendous strides. But those strides are not sufficient. They're not where we want to be. As at 2016, when I took over office, Edo was topping the list of people who were being trafficked from this country. Human trafficking was a big issue. We had, at the point, over 30,000 Edo citizens in Libya waiting to cross over. These are people who had lost hope, people who couldn't find jobs, and they just thought that anywhere else but home, will be it. Today, human trafficking is almost history. Because what we did was to understand why people had lost hope, why these kids did not want to stay at home. We found out it was because they were poorly educated, the educational system had collapsed, and because there were no jobs, there were no businesses, or very few businesses that could provide the job opportunities. So that defined how we then approach governance. And 3 years on, it's clear the evidence is out there. We have reenacted education in Edo State. We are making education what it should be, particularly public education. And, everyone in the world is attesting to that. The World Bank, the Nigerian Union of Teachers have given awards to that effect. Today, a child in Edo State, a child in a primary school in Edo State, after 3 terms in school can read and write. We have trained over 12,000 teachers and given them digital platforms so that I can tell when a teacher is in class. I can tell if a teacher has completed his or her lesson notes for that day. I can tell how children, how they are doing in school to ensure that they are learning. And we're proud of what we've done with education in Edo, particularly Edo Best. And with the kind of education we are now giving our kids, the new generation of Edo citizens we are building, there'll be no need to leave home. There'll be no need to travel. They'll be confident, well-trained children with open minds that can now deal with the world they're facing. So we've done well. We've laid the foundations. 3 years, 4 years is certainly not enough to make those fundamental changes you need to on a sustainable basis. I need another term to consolidate on those reforms which we have started.
Are you very, very desperate about it?
No, I've never been desperate about anything in life.
Because you said you have laid a foundation,
yes,
and you needed to consolidate on it. That's what you've said.
Yes.
So should you get it? It's going to be okay for you. Should you not? How does that come to you?
I will not walk away, because walking away will not be serving God. I mean, I have 300,000 children today whose lives will be fundamentally changed by me being in office. Should I walk away from them? I have young men and women who were training for jobs. We're building a digital city. I'm giving hope. Should I walk away from them? So walking away is not under any consideration.
So you push as hard as you can?
Definitely.
So,
definitely.
I mean, let me take you up quickly on some of the things you said. You promised at the campaigns that you're going to provide 200,000 jobs in 4 years.
Yes.
How many of those have you provided?
At the last count, and this was a survey done on an independent basis by Business Day, the newspaper, and this was about 6 months ago. They authenticated through our Edo Jobs platform that we had created about 157,000. That was about 5 months ago, 6 months ago. And it's kept growing. Unfortunately, we had COVID-19, the COVID-19 pandemic about 4 months ago, which certainly has slowed that process. Yeah, we may not be at 200,000 exactly, but clearly we are over 80–90% to 200,000 jobs.
So because you were very confident monitoring your campaign at the time, that seems to be your major, because 200,000 jobs seems to be the posters that you find everywhere, dotting every nook and cranny of the Edo cities. Yes. And one would think that that was your campaign mantra. Precisely. At the time, 200,000 jobs. A lot of your opponents and your critics were saying, we want to see just how you're going to provide that. Having provided according to some of the statistics, because the jobs statistics are not exactly saying that Edo State has improved so much in the last 2 years or so in terms of unemployment rate. But would you say you have done well?
In the circumstance, we've done fantastically well. Fantastically well. But for COVID-19, if we had finished the survey and allotment of the 100,000 hectares of new oil palm plantations, which is in the bowl, that easily would have created another 50,000 jobs. So we were clear that what where did we think we'll get the jobs from? First, by getting young people to understand technology. So if you come to the Edo State Technology Hub today, you find anyone who's any company that's worth it, that's what is ranking, is there. Cisco, Google, Facebook, everybody training young men and women. These are people who are doing coding, people who are investing in their own businesses. We're supporting a lot of SMEs. As government, we're also employing. We have Edo Jobs. We're matching employers with job seekers. We're giving training. We're giving support, particularly in areas like agriculture, where we have the agripreneur scheme, where we've put over 10,000 hectares of land under cultivation, and we have in excess of 3,000 people, taking those opportunities. So we across the spectrum, from technology to education to agriculture to services, logistics, transportation, we've provided jobs.
So, and you think presently that your re-election bid is not being threatened right now, especially because of your internal party crisis?
It's not being threatened from the perspective that if Edo people are allowed to express themselves, if the APC members are allowed to express themselves and follow the laid-down party constitution and regulations, we shouldn't have a problem. It's very clear.
But you fear that may not happen?
Well, from the discussions that are currently going on, we're trying to make sure it doesn't happen, because it will not be in the interest of our party.
What gives you the impression that that may not happen?
Well, I am optimistic, because as you know very well, Sheon, last week, some governors of the party were in Lagos to see the leader of the party. They went to see the chairman of the party. So conversations are on, so that we can build internal peace and harmony within our party. We're the ruling party. It's ours to lose, and really, there's really no reason why we should lose.
Have you met the national chairman, Adams Oshiomhole, recently?
Not recently.
Face-to-face?
Not recently, face-to-face.
Have you spoken with him recently?
Not recently.
Are you optimistic that you might be able to resolve your rift with him anytime soon?
I do not have a rift with him as a person.
But you are not in good terms with him?
I just do not agree with how he is, at some decisions he's taking as it relates to the party. It's not in the interest of our party. You see, from our quarrel has been that we're doing things that are outside the constitution of our party. The logic of democracy is that it's the people that should drive democracy. Democracy should be built bottom up and not top down. Democracy should start from the base. So in the last 4 years, going 4 years, we in Edo have restructured our party. We've built from the units, through the wards, through the local governments, to the state. And the executives at every level are in harmony, and they've been working hard. So our party is very strong in the state. And the quarrel is, look, the party is not allowed to make its decisions from the base. Decisions are imposed from the top. And that's not auguring well. It's creating, disharmony within the system.
That's the bottom line.
Bottom line.
Because you said at some point that some of the reasons why you're not in alignment with some of your opposition in the party is because you are not willing to give Edo people's money to a political godfather. Is he one of those?
Well, we have, our politics has evolved. Our democracy is maturing. The type of politics we played in 1999 cannot be the same type of politics in the year 2020. Today, 21 years after, even a child who is 21 is now an adolescent. He wants to do things differently. So you cannot continue to restrict the political space. You've got to open it up. You can't say, okay, the reward for political participation, for patronage, is to now have non-state actors beginning to take over state resources. We had a situation when I took over. My local government, Oredo local government, the total internal IGR, the internally generated revenues that accrued to Oredo local government as at December 2016 was under 10 million naira. And this was a local government that was owing salaries and pensions. Today, with that same local government, because of the restructuring, earns almost 100 million naira a month. So those actors, those political actors, who used to benefit from that arrangement, you don't expect them to be happy. But, the greater number of people in Edo State are happy for it.
Governor, you've not mentioned the names. Since you mentioned, a lot of people were wondering whether at some point you're going to mention the names of the political actors who you said were wanted the monies of Edo State, and you were willing, and that's the reason why they were fighting you.
Well, are they fighting me? That's the issue. If so, who is fighting me?
I mean, you're obviously. I mean, the headlines are there to tell who exactly you are up against.
Clearly, those who are, say whatever they are saying, clearly are not happy with what we've done, right? And so the issue, to answer your question, I am not going to be naming names. It's like, okay, there are interests, there are people who are saying Obaseki should not come back. And when you ask them, why don't you want Obaseki back? And I've not found any concrete reason. They haven't said, we don't want Obaseki back because we don't like his educational policy. We don't want him because he's not doing well in infrastructure.
They said you shot the hospital that was 70-something% done, and you did not open it up. That's one of the grievances.
Well, so I rather want to talk about how to move Edo forward, not focus on the mistakes of the past.
That was a mistake, right?
Well, clearly, if a hospital, in your view, was 70-something% complete, and we now have to deal with and respond to COVID, would we have been able to? So I rather want to look at the future.
Because I look at one of the things that you said also recently about, it seems you have a fear about the mode of primaries. And you raised an issue about the circumstances surrounding the mode of primaries. Your party at the national level says they want a direct mode of primaries. And you said direct mode of primaries does not augur well in the COVID era.
I'm sure there are two separate issues, two very, very distinct issues. One is political, and one is public health related. In terms of primaries, I'm a true party man. It doesn't really matter to me what mode of primaries. I'm confident enough, given what we have done in the party, that we'll win any mode of election if honestly and transparently conducted. But we have our party constitution, and it's clear as to how how primaries should be conducted. And our party constitution is clear because democracy builds bottom up. The party constitution says that the state executive will determine the type of primaries they want. It's the state exco that conducts the primaries. The national just comes in to supervise what the state does. And our constitution is clear. And our constitution says you can either have direct, indirect, or consensus. And the state exco has opted for indirect. So I just think that, that's the political
Let's take a breather, Governor Obaseki, for a moment. We'll take a break, but when we come back, we allow Governor Obaseki to talk about his re-election bid, the crisis in the APC, and moving Edo State forward. That's going to be next, everyone. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's get back to the conversation with the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki. Thank you so much, Governor Obaseki, for coming tonight. And as well, candidate Obaseki, because you're gunning for the ticket of your party. Let's get back. You were talking about the mode of primaries. You said you're not afraid of any mode of primaries, but you were explaining on 2 points where you stand.
Yes. So I've said first there is the political issue as it relates to the primaries, and then there's a public health issue. Our response to COVID-19 from Edo, as you are aware, Shehu, has been based on data and proper research. We have responded based on information. And we commissioned an epidemiological survey before we had our index case. And I don't know if you can show that survey. You will see that the survey clearly told us in April that Edo will peak, COVID-19 will peak in Edo about the 28th of June. And what we should do is ensure that we try and flatten that curve and reduce the projected number of infected persons. And we've taken several steps, including investing in isolation centers and focusing on screening and testing. In Edo today, we have 3 PCR laboratories. And what we've tried to do to make sure that with the risk communication messages we're putting out there to our people to ensure that they wash their hands regularly, to ensure that they keep physical and social distancing, and also make sure that they wear their face masks. That is why we made it compulsory for people to wear face masks in Edo. But despite all of those efforts, we've not been able to conquer the trend. If you look at if you look at the reported cases,
okay,
our index case.
That's going to be the next.
Precisely.
Okay. So
our index case was on the 23rd of March, right? It took for 60 days up to the 17th of May for us to have the first 100 cases, right? It took another 10 days for us to move from 100 to 200 cases. It's now taking 5 days to move from 200 to 300 cases. And you can see, so the virus is, at that, critical stage where it's spreading rapidly. And it doesn't make, it will be jeopardizing the health and safety of the citizens of Edo State to allow elections, primary elections, to be conducted in 200 locations on the same day.
But you are the governor of the state. You are the chief executive of the state. You are aware of this. Have you passed this information to the national body of the party?
Certainly have.
Have you advised them?
We have advised them. We've written. In fact, we had to promulgate, amend our infectious diseases regulation to ensure that we don't have more than 20 people gathered together in a place. But for the purpose of political, politics, we've said, fine. We don't have the resources to, and we will not advise the regulatory body, INEC, to expose its staff to, supervising, elections in 200 or more locations at this point in time. The option is for us to have the elections conducted in one location where people can be screened, where we can disinfect the environment and make sure there's enough social, physical distancing is maintained.
Would you participate in a direct, if your party insists that they're going ahead with a direct mode, would you participate in it?
Well, I will not violate the our party constitution.
But you are caught between the laws you signed
they're two separate,
and the fact that your party says...
They're separate things. First, I don't expect my party to behave unlawfully. I mean, this is a law to protect the health and safety of our citizens.
But we understand,
don't forget,
Governor, we understand that your party has transmitted the mode of primaries to INEC.
Well, I've said even that has a problem because it didn't follow our constitution. So on both counts, we have issues. Politics will come and go. But, so we should not risk the lives of our citizens on the altar of politics today. Look at the cases I'm having. I have 350 as of today. And my projection is that it's going into thousands. Should I, as a responsible governor, sit back and say, because of politics, I'll allow my people to die? I can't. Even if I did, God will never forgive me. So there's an issue of, order, of constitution, law, and politics, and there's an issue of public safety. And we must learn to balance them.
So when you met with the president, did he endorse you?
What do you think, Shell? From the body language and the relationships, and will the president now come and take a photograph with me and allow, and share my form with me if he's not happy that I'm seeking re-election?
Well, a lot of people say, he received you because you're the governor, not that he endorsed you. That's what your opponent is saying.
Well, let them go and ask him to receive them.
So because, this probably just also supports the notion of what Chief John Oyegun has said, that the president has said yourself and the governor of Ondo State should be given a chance of forced refusal in the race.
So in most democracies, that is the practice. Look at the United States. How many Republicans are contesting against President Trump? Right? Donald Trump. You see, because the party is in power. The party, particularly when the party is doing well, you want to support what you already have. You don't want to create dissension and weaken what you have. That is not to say there should not be a contest. Politics and democracy, it's about contestation. But as a party, why would you want to upset and create so much dissension within your ranks if there's no need to? If Godwin Obaseki has not done well, he's not been able to pay salaries, he's not been able to pay pensions, he's not been able to build infrastructure, he's not been able to pursue the party programs and policies, then you can argue that, this governor may not be able to deliver to the party. But I'm not sure that's the case in Edo today.
Yeah, the institution we put right there on the screen of the University of Ibadan,
right,
that you read classics,
right.
Is there any case of forgery?
Well, it's so absurd that people can talk about forgery of certificates from the premier university in this country. The University of Ibadan is just less than 100 kilometers from Lagos. If you think there's an issue, then why not call the university? The alumni association of the university has spoken about it. So, it's nonsense. But it's not surprising that the people who are making such accusations, who are leveling such accusations, themselves I'm sure themselves think that it's so easy because they may not have gone through proper schools, that it's so easy to go and forge certificates of, high quality universities and, get away with it. Let's
conclude the conversation. And on this, I think we should anchor by asking you, are you afraid of Osage Zayam?
Why should I be? We contested before. It wasn't, the last time I contested, he was my opponent from the PDP, and the votes are there. I beat him. That is when I had no track record as a governor. Now with the track record as a governor, I don't have any fears. But
should you lose the party ticket, would you support anybody who wins?
If the process is free, transparent, and credible, why not? But if it's not, why should I?
Governor Godwin Obaseki, thank you so much indeed for coming tonight. What a moment for you to speak about some of these very touchy issues that you have spoken about tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I wish you the very best in the coming days.
Thank you.
Governor Godwin Obaseki has been our guest tonight on the program and ahead of the governorship primaries in the state. And that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimberley. Bye-bye.
Four of its Orlando parks next month. California's Disneyland just got the go-ahead to reopen its park in July as well. And Universal's City Walk in Hollywood, California is wide open. But at all the parks, precautions go hand in hand with the fun. The goal, get the industry started slowly to avoid any stumbles. Since January, theme parks have collectively lost an estimated $10 billion due to the pandemic. SeaWorld and other parks hoping to make a big splash as Americans venture back out. And for visitors who come and want to go to the presentations with the animals, well, in the stands, you sit in one area and there's a big space between the next family, the strangers, and it's every other row. All of that to ensure social distancing. Kerry Sanders, NBC News at SeaWorld in Orlando.
I have to admit, it's really tough getting used to these things all around, but it is our world.
It is. Safety is the #1 priority, and at least they're able to get out there and get some outdoor entertainment.
Yeah. Progress. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Francis Rivera.
And I'm Philip Mena. Have a great weekend, everyone.
You're watching NBC News Now. We've got some breaking news.
If they do go back to their jobs, they want to make sure that they are protected.
It's news made for your streaming world. Live weekdays starting at 6 a.m. Eastern.
President Trump will wake up at his golf resort in New Jersey this morning ahead of a commencement address at West Point. How will the cadets receive him after a week of heavy friction from some of America's most notable military brass?
To a firestorm ignited by the president's plans to hold his first rally in months on Juneteenth in the city where one of the most horrific incidents of racial violence in American history occurred.
Then to the surge in coronavirus cases hitting almost 24 states and why it sent investors running for cover.
And the Army veteran on a ventilator for 7 weeks, the joyful goodbye that has finally arrived. It's Friday, June 12th. Early Today starts right now.
Glad you're with us to end the week. I'm Francis Rivera.
And I'm Philip Mena. The president is answering calls to address police reform after more than 2 weeks of protests over racial injustice in America. On Thursday, he held a meeting with law enforcement and African-American faith leaders in Dallas, where he rejected calls for defunding law enforcement and announced he was finalizing an executive order focused on police reform. Here's NBC's Alice Barr.
President Trump traveling to Dallas to address growing demands for police reform.
We have to work together to confront bigotry and prejudice wherever they appear, but we'll make no progress and heal no wounds by falsely labeling tens of millions of decent Americans as racist or bigots.
The president meeting with selected law enforcement and faith leaders for what's billed as a roundtable on race relations and policing, an event that excluded Dallas's 3 top law enforcement officials, who are all black. Instead of defunding, President Trump says he wants to invest in police and promises an executive order to upgrade policing standards.
And that means force, but force with compassion. But if you're going to have to really do a job, if somebody's really bad, you're going to have to do it with real strength, real power.
The president also vowed to aggressively pursue economic development in minority communities and address health care disparities. And he's calling on Congress to enact school choice. At the same time, lawmakers on Capitol Hill are debating over competing plans, a Democratic package that includes broad systemic reform and a Republican plan that's more narrowly focused on concerns like use of force. Meanwhile, President Trump facing criticism for the timing and location of his first campaign rally since the coronavirus lockdowns. It's set for June 19th, known as Juneteenth, a day commemorating the end of slavery. And the location, Tulsa, Oklahoma, marks 99 years this month since an infamous massacre of its black citizens. The president's spokesperson says it's a meaningful day to him, and he can talk about what he's done for the black community. The chairwoman of the Congressional Black Caucus calls it a slap in the face. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
A remarkable about-face from the nation's top general, further deepening the division between President Trump and the military. Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley now says it was a mistake to appear beside the president for the infamous walk to St. John's Church after law enforcement attacked protesters to clear the way.
As many of you saw the result of the photograph of me at Lafayette Square last week, that sparked a national debate about the role of the military in civil society. I should not have been there. My presence in that moment and in that environment created a perception of the military involved in domestic politics. As a commissioned uniformed officer, it was a mistake that I have learned from.
Milley was so upset he considered resigning over the issue. 3 defense officials tell NBC News. His apology now casting a shadow over the president's commencement speech at West Point tomorrow. Our Capitol Hill correspondent Tracy Potts joins us with the latest. And Tracy, we've heard from some West Point alum.
Well, now we are hearing from some alumni of West Point who are essentially saying the same thing that the general did, concerned about mixing the military and politics. In an open letter to the West Point grads, alumni who served in 10 different administrations are warning against what they call using the military as a weapon against fellow Americans who are engaging in these legitimate protests. They warn of politically charged events like the general talked about where the military is involved, and call this a travesty to the oath of office. Also, we're starting to see some level of compromise on police reform, with some Republicans now backing some of the issues that Democrats have brought up, such as chokeholds and no-knock warrants. Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy now says he sees a problem with police use of chokeholds.
Do you support banning chokeholds?
Yes. Especially in the concept, if you watch within a bill coming forward, the idea of someone that would have a chokehold when somebody is handcuffed or others, there should be severe consequences.
And Kentucky Senator Rand Paul now introducing a bill called the Breonna Taylor bill that would ban no-knock warrants, something else that Democrats wanted. So while we're starting to see some level of compromise on the Hill, they've still got a long way to go. Back to you.
We'll be here watching every step of the way. Tracy, thanks.
With many Confederate statues being removed around the country, NASCAR announced it would ban Confederate flags from its events. Here's NBC's Jay Gray.
A song of change, echoing across the country. The chorus growing louder as crowds deface and topple Confederate monuments in Virginia.
It was a really huge moment for a lot of people here, but it needed to come. It needed to come down.
NASCAR shifting gears quickly, banning the Confederate flag from all events and properties. A lane change steered by the sport's only African-American driver.
Inclusion is what we're trying to accomplish here. We're trying to unity, bring everybody together.
A legislative battle is intensifying in Mississippi, the only state that still features the Confederate flag in its banner.
It perpetuates a divisiveness, a lack of willingness to work together.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is working to remove controversial monuments at the Capitol and strip the names of Confederate leaders from military bases.
The timing might be just right.
But President Trump has vowed to block the changes, tweeting, "Those that deny their history are doomed to repeat it. History and heritage is why some say the monument should stay."
They come and they take it down. 120 years it's been there. No input from the people of the city of Mobile, and it's gone.
While input from thousands are changing not only statues, but seemingly the sentiment of a nation. Jay Gray, NBC News.
Now to a sharp reminder of the other crisis rocking the nation. A huge sell-off on Wall Street Thursday amid new concerns about the continuing spread of COVID-19. The Dow plunging more than 1,800 points, its biggest drop in 3 months. And while we got good news that the number of unemployment claims continues to fall, still over 1.5 million people filed for unemployment benefits last week, almost 43 million since the pandemic began. Meantime, 15 states have seen COVID-19 cases rise by more than 25% in just the last week. NBC's Aaron McLaughlin has more from Arizona.
Growing concerns in Arizona, where in the last week, COVID-19 cases have jumped a shocking 93%.
We're seeing increasing numbers, and we're starting to see some strain on our hospitals and our healthcare system.
Officials warn this and other hospitals could soon reach ICU capacity, unable to treat the sickest patients.
In Texas, where hospitalizations have risen for 3 days in a row, the Austin mayor says he's likely to extend the stay-at-home orders, due to expire next week. Starting today, statewide, restaurant capacity can increase from 50 to 75%. A mask can dramatically reduce the spread, according to a new study from Cambridge University. The Arizona governor, seen frequently without a mask, says there's no crisis and attributes his state's spike to more widespread testing.
We'll continue to increase testing in the state of Arizona, which will give us more sightline to what our situation is at the state level. We'll have a constant focus on cases and hospital capacity.
Many health experts link the surge to the crowds on Memorial Day 2 weeks ago, which is the incubation period for the coronavirus. Dr. Ashish Jha, the director of the Harvard Global Health Institute, now predicting at least 200,000 deaths by the end of the summer.
I had hoped that the fact that people are spending more time outside, that it's summer, we would not see such a big increase so fast. But it's more concerning than I had hoped we would get at this point.
Any hope of a summer vacation from COVID-19 quickly fading fast. Erin McLaughlin, NBC News, Phoenix.
When it comes to social distancing, new data suggests that for some Americans, old habits die hard. An NBC News analysis of cell phone location data provided by Cubics found that in more than 450 counties across the U.S., marked right there in dark pink, people have started to come in contact with one another more frequently at pre-pandemic levels. The data shows nationally the rate of nearness at less than half of February's levels, but it is gradually on the rise.
All right, let's take a look now at your Friday weather with NBC meteorologist Bill Cairns. How are we making these plans based on how it's looking out there, Bill?
Well, a lot of us are going to be looking great. Good morning, everyone. The areas of concern will be the southeast coastal location, especially I-95 towards the coast. We got a few storms around the Norfolk, Virginia Beach areas at this hour. But as we go throughout the day, we expect numerous showers and storms, not just today, but some of these will even last into Saturday, especially areas of North Florida. Rainfall totals, isolated flooding, maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain, at most 3 inches. We're going to have gorgeous weather in the Great Lakes, but it's still going to be very hot from the Rockies all the way through areas of Texas, where we could be 95 today in San Antonio. That's a look at the big weather story of the day. Now here's a closer look at your day ahead. Well, we're going to continue to watch the hot conditions in areas of Texas. Typical weather in Florida today with highs in the 80s to 90s. We'll have that rain along the southeast coastal areas. And you want to talk about gorgeous late spring weather, Duluth to Green Bay in the 60s. We'll talk more about the heat wave coming up for your weekend forecast.
That sounds good, Bill. Thank you so much. And in today's Quick Hits, what is bad news, Alex? Later today, Jeopardy will air its last new episode. Filming has been suspended since the pandemic hit in March, but host Alex Trebek said he does want to be one of the first shows back in production.
Chances of finding an orange lobster are about 1 in 30 million, and one seafood restaurant in Massachusetts received exactly that. The same restaurant also got a blue lobster a year ago. They're both now living in an aquarium.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is set to reopen on June 15th. Guests have to stand at least 2 Stratocasters apart, wear masks, and get their temperatures checked.
The band Lady Antebellum is making a big change and shortening their name to Lady A. This comes as the band realized the word's association to slavery. They said in a statement that they are regretful and embarrassed for not dropping the phrase sooner. The band vowed that the name change is just the first in many steps they will take to practice anti-racism.
And President Trump plans to return to the campaign trail next week, and his first rally is already facing backlash. The rally is planned for June 19th in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Both the date and the location for this event are seen as highly controversial. For more context on this, here's NBC's Jeff Bennett.
Both the date and location of President Trump's scheduled campaign rally hold deep significance, especially at a moment when the nation is again confronting its long history of racial injustice.
Black Lives Matter!
Next Friday is Juneteenth, an annual holiday marking the end of slavery in the U.S. And Tulsa, Oklahoma, 99 years ago this month, witnessed what's described as the single worst incident of racial violence in American history. A massacre recently portrayed in HBO's Watchmen. Historian Lonnie Bunch heads the Smithsonian Institution.
It basically destroyed one of the most stable black communities in America.
In the early 1900s, Tulsa's Greenwood district was dubbed Black Wall Street for its hundreds of black-owned businesses. White mobs attacked the city over 2 days, destroying millions in property and killing as many as 300 African Americans.
Even though these communities were trying to live up to the stated ideals of the country, that the country wasn't ready for them.
Now, nearly a century later, archaeologists are investigating evidence of a possible mass gravesite as Tulsa grapples with its racial past and present. More recent incidents are also drawing scrutiny. Authorities investigating the arrest of a black teenager last week accused by white police officers of jaywalking down an empty street. A second teen was handcuffed. The video blurred by police.
Why are you putting handcuffs on? Because.
And a Tulsa police official is drawing condemnation over his remarks about research on race and policing during a local radio interview.
All of their research says we're shooting African Americans about 24% less than we probably ought to be based on the crimes being committed.
The Tulsa Police Department says comments by Major Travis Yates do not align with its mission, values, or policies. Yates says he was citing research, not offering his opinion, and that his comments were taken out of context. Bunch says this moment of national protest is a chance for Americans to challenge current injustice by remembering and understanding the past.
And I think the question really is this the moment that can be transformative? Because there were transformative moments throughout the 20th century. Can this be one of them?
Jeff Bennett, NBC News, Washington.
The names you refuse to remember was somebody's brother or friend, son to a mother that's crying, saying, I can't breathe. You're taking my life from me. I can't breathe. Will anyone fight for me?
Singer and songwriter Her debuted an emotional new song entitled I Can't Breathe in response to the police killings of unarmed black people.
In northern New Jersey, Latinx communities marched in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement.
Hands up, don't shoot! Hands up, don't shoot!
I've lived here my entire life and I've never seen anything even close to this ever organized in this community.
Everybody's too afraid to have this conversation about racism. But when are we going to be ready? The time is now.
We feel compelled as a Latino community to come out and say we support the Black Lives Matter movement. It's no longer going to be accepted.
The protesters were chanting, "Your fight is my fight" in Spanish, demanding justice for George Floyd.
Could Colin Kaepernick suit up in the NFL next season? Well, on Thursday, Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll told reporters that a team reached out to him asking about Kaepernick, but he declined to name that team. Kaepernick had a tryout with the Seahawks in 2017, and Carroll admitted that he regrets not signing him, even though he maintained Kaepernick was not the right fit. He remained unsigned following the 2016 NFL season when he sparked nationwide controversy for kneeling during the national anthem.
Welcome back to Early Today. The weekend forecast, it's going to be hot in a few spots, but also almost a little chilly for this time of year in the Great Lakes. So here's how we're looking. Stormy in the southeast still, especially North Florida as we go through Saturday. Not as warm in the Great Lakes, only 60s, not swimming weather, but it's going to be full out all summer-like from areas of Texas right through Oklahoma into the Rockies. We're going to be 93 in Denver on Sunday, still hot in the southwest, and still some chances of some rain in the southeast. Overall, it looks very typical summer-like weather for most of us.
In today's top stories, more than 1,400 current and former athletes and coaches from the NBA, MLB, and NFL signed a petition for Congress to end qualified immunity. The athletes' letter comes in support of a bill introduced this week by Representatives Justin Amash and Ayanna Pressley. In the letter, the athletes write, "We are tired of conversations around police accountability that go nowhere."
Following the death of George Floyd and weeks of protests over racial injustice, there's been a cultural reckoning in the country. As a result, a growing list of media, entertainment, and sports organizations have announced pledges of financial support to racial justice causes. The NFL has pledged to donate $250 million to combat systemic racism. Apple is committing $100 million to fight for racial equality. YouTube is investing $100 million to help amplify black artists, and Adidas, who faced criticism for its initial $20 million donation, upped its contribution to $120 million to support black communities.
We are learning more about the extent of injuries that a Buffalo protester suffered after he was pushed by a police officer during a demonstration. According to his lawyer, 75-year-old Martin Gugino suffered a brain injury as a result of the incident that was captured on video last week. Gugino's lawyer also says he is starting physical therapy, adding he feels encouraged and uplifted by the outpouring of support. Amid outcry over the incident, 2 Buffalo officers were suspended without pay and then charged with second-degree assault. They have pleaded not guilty.
Lawmakers and police departments across the nation are making swift changes to policies and procedures after the death of George Floyd. Earlier this week, the New York State Assembly passed the Eric Garner Anti-Chokehold Act. And meanwhile, House and Senate Democrats unveiled new legislation dubbed the Justice in Policing Act. And Kentucky Senator Rand Paul also introduced a bill to end no-knock warrants. Well, in Florida, the Miami-Dade Police Department is banning the use of a type of chokehold called the carotid triangle restraint. It comes as San Francisco bans tear gas and says police will no longer respond to non-criminal calls.
The mother of Trayvon Martin is working to make a difference in her community. Her son's death sparked outrage in 2012. Martin was 17 and unarmed when he was killed by a neighborhood watch volunteer, George Zimmerman. Zimmerman was acquitted the following year. Now his mom, Sabrina Fulton, has announced that she is qualified to run for office. She is seeking an open seat for Miami-Dade County Commissioner.
And finally, the survivor story that is inspiring America. After 7 weeks on a ventilator, Army veteran Gary DeGrees beat COVID-19. The moment captured here on camera when the father of 4 finally left a hospital in New York to those cheers. Reuniting with his wife for the first time in 2 months, Gary is now in rehab and hoping to go home soon. So happy for Gary and his family.
Got a lot of hugs waiting for us.
That's right. Thank you so much for starting your Friday with us. I'm Philip Mena.
And I'm Frances Rivera. Be safe this weekend.
You're watching NBC News Now. We've got some breaking news.
If they do go back to their jobs, they want to make sure that they are protected.
It's news made for your streaming world. Live weekdays starting at 6 a.m. Eastern.
President Trump will wake up at his golf resort in New Jersey this morning ahead of a commencement address at West Point. How will the cadets receive him after a week of heavy friction from some of America's most notable military brass?
To a firestorm ignited by the president's plans to hold his first rally in months on Juneteenth in the city where one of the most horrific incidents of racial violence in American history occurred.
Then to the surge in coronavirus cases hitting almost 24 states and why it sent investors running for cover.
And the Army veteran on a ventilator for 7 weeks, the joyful goodbye that has finally arrived. It's Friday, June 12th. Early Today starts right now.
Glad you're with us to end the week. I'm Frances Rivera.
And I'm Philip Mena. The president is answering calls to address police reform after more than 2 weeks of protests over racial injustice in America. On Thursday, he held a meeting with law enforcement and African-American faith leaders in Dallas, where he rejected calls for defunding law enforcement and announced he was finalizing an executive order focused on police reform. Here's NBC's Alice Barr.
President Trump traveling to Dallas to address growing demands for police reform.
We have to work together to confront bigotry and prejudice wherever they appear, but we'll make no progress and heal no wounds by falsely labeling tens of millions of decent Americans as racist or bigots.
The president meeting with selected law enforcement and faith leaders for what's billed as a roundtable on race relations and policing, an event that excluded Dallas's 3 top law enforcement officials, who are all black. Instead of defunding, President Trump says he wants to invest in police and promises an executive order to upgrade policing standards.
And that means force, but force with compassion. But if you're going to have to really do a job, if somebody's really bad, you're going to have to do it with real strength, real power.
The president also vowed to aggressively pursue economic development in minority communities and address health care disparities. And he's calling on Congress to enact school choice. At the same time, lawmakers on Capitol Hill are debating over competing plans, a Democratic package that includes broad systemic reform and a Republican plan that's more narrowly focused on concerns like use of force. Meanwhile, President Trump facing criticism for the timing and location of his first campaign rally since the coronavirus lockdowns. It's set for June 19th, known as Juneteenth, a day commemorating the end of slavery. And the location, Tulsa, Oklahoma, marks 99 years this month since an infamous massacre of its black citizens. The president's spokesperson says it's a meaningful day to him, and he can talk about what he's done for the black community. The chairwoman of the Congressional Black Caucus calls it a slap in the face. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
A remarkable about-face from the nation's top general, further deepening the division between President Trump and the military. Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley now says it was a mistake to appear beside the president for the infamous walk to St. John's Church after law enforcement attacked protesters to clear the way.
As many of you saw the result of the photograph of me at Lafayette Square last week, that sparked a national debate about the role of the military in civil society. I should not have been there. My presence in that moment and in that environment created a perception of the military involved in domestic politics. As a commissioned uniformed officer, it was a mistake that I have learned from.
Milley was so upset he considered resigning over the issue. 3 defense officials tell NBC News. His apology now casting a shadow over the president's commencement speech at West Point tomorrow. Our Capitol Hill correspondent Tracy Potts joins us with the latest. And Tracy, we've heard from some West Point alum.
Well, now we are hearing from some alumni of West Point who are essentially saying the same thing that the general did, concerned about mixing the military and politics. In an open letter to the West Point grads, alumni who served in 10 different administrations are warning against what they call using the military as a weapon against fellow Americans who are engaging in these legitimate protests. They warn of politically charged events like the general talked about where the military is involved, and call this a travesty to the oath of office. Also, we're starting to see some level of compromise on police reform, with some Republicans now backing some of the issues that Democrats have brought up, such as chokeholds and no-knock warrants. Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy now says he sees a problem with police use of chokeholds.
Do you support banning chokeholds?
Yes. Especially in the concept, if you watch within a bill coming forward, the idea of someone that would have a chokehold when somebody is handcuffed and others, there should be severe consequences.
And Kentucky Senator Rand Paul now introducing a bill called the Breonna Taylor bill that would ban no-knock warrants, something else that Democrats wanted. So while we're starting to see some level of compromise on the Hill, they've still got a long way to go. Back to you.
We'll be here watching every step of the way. Tracy, thanks.
With many Confederate statues being removed around the country, NASCAR announced it would ban Confederate flags from its events. Here's NBC's Jay Gray.
A song of change, echoing across the country. The chorus growing louder as crowds deface and topple Confederate monuments in Virginia.
It was a really huge moment for a lot of people here, but it needed to come. It needed to come down.
NASCAR shifting gears quickly, banning the Confederate flag from all events and properties. A lane change steered by the sport's only African-American driver.
Inclusion is what we were trying to accomplish here. We're trying to unity, bring everybody together.
A legislative battle is intensifying in Mississippi, the only state that still features the Confederate flag in its banner.
It perpetuates a divisiveness, a lack of willingness to work together.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is working to remove controversial monuments at the Capitol and strip the names of Confederate leaders from military bases.
The timing might be just right.
But President Trump has vowed to block the changes, tweeting, "Those that deny their history are doomed to repeat it. History and heritage is why some say the monument should stay."
They come and they take it down. 120 years it's been there. No input from the people of the city of Mobile, and it's gone.
While input from thousands are changing not only statues, but seemingly the sentiment of a nation. Jay Gray, NBC News.
Now to a sharp reminder. Of the other crisis rocking the nation, a huge sell-off on Wall Street Thursday amid new concerns about the continuing spread of COVID-19. The Dow plunging more than 1,800 points, its biggest drop in 3 months. And while we got good news that the number of unemployment claims continues to fall, still, over 1.5 million people filed for unemployment benefits last week, almost 43 million since the pandemic began. Meantime, 15 states have seen COVID-19 cases rise by more than 25% in just the last week. NBC's Erin McLaughlin has more from Arizona.
Growing concerns in Arizona, where in the last week, COVID-19 cases have jumped a shocking 93%.
We're seeing increasing numbers, and we're starting to see some strain on our hospitals and our healthcare system.
Officials warn this and other hospitals could soon reach ICU capacity, unable to treat the sickest patients.
In Texas, where hospitalizations have risen for 3 days in a row, the Austin mayor says he's likely to extend the stay-at-home orders due to expire next week. Starting today, statewide, restaurant capacity can increase from 50 to 75%. A mask can dramatically reduce the spread, according to a new study from Cambridge University. The Arizona governor, seen frequently without a mask, says there's no crisis and attributes his state's spike to more widespread testing.
We'll continue to increase testing in the state of Arizona, which will give us more sightline to what our situation is at the state level. We'll have a constant focus on cases and hospital capacity.
Many health experts link the surge to the crowds on Memorial Day 2 weeks ago, which is the incubation period for the coronavirus. Dr. Ashish Jha, the director of the Harvard Global Health Institute, now predicting at least 200,000 deaths by the end of the summer.
I had hoped that the fact that people are spending more time outside, that it's summer, we would not see such a big increase so fast. But it's more concerning than I had hoped we would get at this point.
Any hope of a summer vacation from COVID-19 quickly fading fast. Erin McLaughlin, NBC News, Phoenix.
When it comes to social distancing, new data suggests that for some Americans, old habits die hard. An NBC News analysis of cell phone location data provided by Cubics found that in more than 450 counties across the U.S., marked right there in dark pink, people have started to come in contact with one another more frequently at pre-pandemic levels. The data shows nationally the rate of nearness at less than half of February's levels, but it is gradually on the rise.
All right, let's take a look now at your Friday weather with